Been riding hard for 3 days. I can't turn back now. They sentenced me to hang, but I slipped away somehow. Hell, I'm the best there is, and that's all you need to know. 'Cause I've got outlaw blood and a restless, weary soul. And I'm trying to cross the border before the sun sets down tonight. If I keep on riding hard, I'll be a free man come daylight. Hell, I'm the best there is, and that's what I hear them say. But I guess I always knew that I'd pay my debt someday. And they found me in a little town just outside of Mexico. And I was sold out by a friend for a handful of pesos. And anyone can tell you my guns, they were not drawn. I was murdered down in cold blood and left to die at dawn.
How we doing?
Been gone 100 years now, but it seems like yesterday that the lawman shot me in the dark and stole my life away. Hell, I'm the best that ever lived. I'm a legend among men. Now every time that pistol fires, my legend rides again. They found a little town just outside of Mexico. What happened there that night, no one will ever know. But anyone can tell you that I was unarmed, and anyone can tell you that I left that night unharmed. I will swing my axe. Don't let the flames go down. Carve out some of that kindling. There's plenty of wood around. Well, I've seen the devil's shadow. Keep that fire going. The sun is coming soon. I will swing my axe. Don't let the flames go down. Come out, some kindling. Oh, there's plenty of wood on. When I'm old and gray, and these two hands are worn, and I'll keep heaven warm. I will swing my axe. Don't let the flames go down. Oh, that's for that kindling. There's plenty of wood around.
Yo, what up, and welcome back to Pinoy News, fam. How y'all doing? Welcome, everybody. My Sons of Patriot, Sons of fucking WBS Liberty. My boy Ad Hoc here with me. I'll be honest with you.
You okay there, Tom? Your audio.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're cutting out every 5 words.
Am I cutting out? Like, yo, so fuck.
Yeah, there you go. You just cut out there.
I just cut out. Yo, man, listen, like fucking, I should be all right as far as shit's like really concerned. Like, yo, unless like the fucking internet is that goddamn garbage at the moment, in which case I can, you know what I mean, try and get rid of fucking Discord, right? Like legit, like man, listen, sit here and like fucking get rid of some of these Jones on this motherfucking dip. Hang on, man. Let me stand here and fucking get rid of some of this shit that's murdering my joint. Hang on a minute, fuck, and we'll get rid of like all the things that's fucking murdering out my motherfucking memory. You know what I mean? Sucking up any of this goddamn juice and shit. Do I sound better now?
Yeah, you're not cutting out as much now. You sound good.
I sound good. All right, cool. All right. Anyway, yo, what up, everybody, man? John Wayne, how the fuck y'all doing, man? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's nice to see y'all out here. It is Saturday, or it is Sunday night, actually. And usually we do, you know what I'm saying, like the Mo Bug stream. But I'll be honest with you. Yo, look, man, I had a day today. Yo, ad hoc, I had a day today, my brother.
You had a day today? Sounds like I've been same as I've been having a weekend, but it is. What happened this day that made it a day?
Yeah, look, all right. Well, first off, I had plans when I woke up today, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I had things I wanted to do outside. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I had like these in my backyard. The people used to live here. They left motherfucking, not a bad day. Not a bad day, just a day. You know what I'm saying? In my backyard, I had these people who left these fucking 2 burn barrels and a fucking garbage can full of broken up cinder blocks. And you know what I'm saying? The giant pole that was like, used to be like a fucking clothesline pole. Right, that had like a big ass fucking chunk of concrete on the bottom of it, right? So yesterday I went to the store and I bought me a sledgehammer, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean, like fucking, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna break this fucking concrete off of this bitch. I'm gonna take these fucking pieces of cinder block that are in here. I'm gonna lay them out. I'm gonna break them up and lay them out front, you know what I mean? And stand here and fucking basically kind of like semi-pave my fucking front dirt, you know what I mean?
Sounds like a gravel job, I mean? But okay.
Yeah. Basically, it's a Fred Flintstone gravel job is what I was planning on doing, but I didn't get to that far. You know what I'm saying? I ended up breaking up the motherfucking concrete and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sitting there and stacking it around my fire pit. I stood here and I went to move these burn barrels and they broke the fucking half. You know what I mean? And I ended up fucking having to sit here and like, because they were still full of ashes and shit from motherfuckers like not cleaning them out and not doing what they're supposed to do. And like halfway through the ashes, I start finding dirty diapers and bottles and shit. I'm like, who the fuck?
Oh God!
Like, who tries to burn bottles? Like, yo, what type of person puts bottles in a fucking burn barrel? Bottles don't motherfucking stand here and burn. Like, yo, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? Yo, and then
it sounds like they were pitching full bottles of alcohol in there, hoping the alcohol would burn up, and didn't think about the fucking glass.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. They're fucking retarded.
That's drunk, Nalt. That's drunk. Drunk logic to me.
Yeah. So, and then on top of that, I wake up today, and you know what I'm saying. My fucking my girl tells me, well, you know, make sure you got clothes on when you come out here. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, my fucking my friends coming over, right? And I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So fuck, make sure I'm dressed up. Well, this bitch shows up and she got 3 kids with her, right? Now, I'm going to describe this female to you. She's 24, covered in tattoos, about 5'8", something like that, right? Glasses, you know what I'm saying? Hair pulled back in a motherfucking ponytail, about $140, right? So, you know what I'm saying? She ain't, you know what I mean? Like, she ain't got no titties and nothing, you know what I mean? But she got like a little fucking white person body, you know what I mean? Like a type of body that like these fucking... I don't know, like these dudes who, you know, fucking want to do cocaine and be bikers, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. you know what type of bitch I'm talking about, right? You know,
sort of. I can at least say lead dancer with no chest. If she actually does a fucking suplex, she can table.
Right. So
table
this bitch,
good enough to eat off of.
This bitch was my girl's cousin's girlfriend, right? You know what I mean? And she had motherfucking like 3 kids by this dude. She brings these 3 kids over, and out of their 6 feet, there isn't one shoe among them, right?
Oof.
And it's a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and like a motherfucking 11-month-old, something like that, right?
All right, the 11-month-old and the 2-month-old, I can understand. 11 months, maybe not quite walking.
2-year-old, 5-month-old, a 2-year-old, and a motherfucking 11-month-old.
Oh, okay, all right then. That changes things.
Right. And my girl's like, oh, you know, fucking, I'm gonna go get some charcoal. You know what I'm saying? We'll fucking cook out. And I'm like, yo, I'm down. Whatever we can get. Like, I love cooking out. I love getting out in the grill and getting it done. You know me. I'm about that life, right? And she's like, she's gonna bring over stuff to make baked macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
This bitch brings over some Kraft macaroni, Velveeta, and shells.
Oh, no.
And then my girl,
not the Velveeta.
Yo, my girl proceeds to stand here and put it in a motherfucking baking dish. You know what I'm saying? And like she boils the noodles, puts it in a baking dish, and then motherfucking tries to pretend like she's making baked macaroni and cheese. And I'm standing here and I'm just like, yo, man, listen, like, this is not baked macaroni. I know what baked macaroni and cheese is. Like, I grew up in the hood, like around black folk. I know what baked macaroni. This is not baked macaroni and cheese, right? And then I proceed to hear that, like, yo, this female as, like, you know what I mean, she's hanging out or whatever. I'm hearing about her life, you know what I'm saying, like third hand, because I'll be honest with you, like, I still don't know what this bitch's name is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I just don't pay no mind to this bitch. Right. And I come to find out this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, she broke up with a fucking man or whatever, right? Her and her man fucking split up. Her man was a wise dude. You know what I'm saying? He done rolled out and left this, but he went for cigarettes and didn't come back. You know what I mean? Right. Like, yo, he's a wise nigga. He's a wise nigga. I'll be real with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he done smelled some shit everybody else didn't. Right. And like, legitimately, this bitch, you know what I'm saying, is now motherfucking, like, yo, working part-time somewhere and then working at the strip club the rest of the motherfucking time. Right.
He realized his mistake trying to turn a hoe into a housewife and bailed before she could lock him down. Good man.
Yo, look, I'll be real with you. I was talking to a nigga earlier this week. I was like, yo, look, never motherfucking try to wife nothing down that's under the age of 25. Right. Yo, it just is what it is. Right. Because, like, yo, you are going to find out right before they turn 25, they have like this burst of motherfucking thought energy. Right. And like, all of a sudden they want to go and do it's like somebody like hit their goddamn bucket list of being a thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all of a sudden they want to do all the thought things that they haven't done. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, I'm 25. I'm soon going to be 25. So I'm be old. And like, I'm not going to have the opportunity to do this shit. Right.
Right.
Where, like, you know what's dude. Right, fucking, you know, I was sitting here like as a grown man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 38, and the older you get, the more you got to let go of like the old shit you used to do. You know what I mean? Like playing football and basketball and all those, like, those little things in the back of your head where you sit here and you go, man, listen, like, I'm not going to be a fucking athlete. You know what I mean? I'm not going to play in the NFL. I'm not going to be in the NBA. I'm not going to stand here and, you know what I mean, be in the MLB, whatever it is for you. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it was the NFL, right? I'm like, I got to let go of that mentality. I'm never going to be a middle linebacker. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to motherfucking be a defensive end. I'm never going to do any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm too fucking old. You know what I mean? And I had to let go of that. You know, like 30, 32 years old, you let go of these mentalities as far as shit's concerned, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you're reaching that thing, you realize that's kind of the prime of your life, and then you start to realize there's nowhere to go but downhill after you're 32. So it's like, you know, maybe you ought to scale back and consider more intellectual pursuits, things that can work your mind, because your mind only gets better up until you're about 70, 80.
Right. I mean, you know, it's not just that. You know, I mean, it's more along the lines like, yo, look, you know, your body is not going to stand here and tolerate the beating that it would take to fucking get to where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
That and like, yo, as being also, I was a street dude. You know what I'm saying? I was like one of them dudes, like, you know, I'll be out here in the street hustling, doing whatever I was doing way back in the day. And once you turn like 22, 23, you start realizing that 18-year-olds are coming up every day and they're not going to know your legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the old heads will know who you are. You know what I mean? But the young bulls, like, they coming up, they got no fucking idea what the fuck you is. And you got to keep proving yourself every fucking year and shit. Like, you got to just break some fucking young bull wide open, and it's just fucking dumb as shit. Yo, look, man, listen, sons of patriarchy, all right? Corn Pop was a bad dude. I get your mentality, right? But I'll be real. The only reason we know about Corn Pop is because Joe Biden done motherfucking told us about him, all right? In the end of the day, you know, like, Joe Biden was over here banging razors, you know what I'm saying, off of rocks and shit, and fucking.
Hey, you know, we take the razors and we bang them on the edge of the water barrel, and then we did, you know the thing. We left them in there, and got them all rusty. And Corn Pop had like 6 of them. He was a bad dude, you know. I once challenged him to a push-up contest, and he banged his razor against the water barrel. Like, you motherfucking what? So I had to talk to the old pool man and get myself a fucking rusty chain.
Gave me a length of chain, right? You know, yeah, like that's the mentality, right? As a whole, right? So like, you got to start letting go of those things in your life. I mean, like, every once, like, I'll be honest with you, I had a female I hooked up with who she fed that part of the monster. You know what I mean? Like she got her pussy got all wet every time like I grip a nigga up. You know what I'm saying? To like put some bass in my voice. Like I remember one time I went outside and there was like this group of 18-year-olds who wanted to like fight my son, and I went out there in my boxes, like yo, just standing there like who want what with who, right? You know, right? You know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers just started taking the fuck off. Like yo, that old man crazy, right? So yo, legit. It's like I was waiting, man. I just wanted to rip and tear some fucking young bulls up. You know what I mean? I threw a Jamaican across the motherfucking room and shit. Like, man, listen, I dunked the nigga into the ceiling and left him laying on the floor. Right? Like I was Hulk smashing motherfuckers and shit. Well, you know, but like I'll be real, that's not healthy for you as a man to have that part of you get fed on a regular basis. Right? You know, like you should maybe leave that part alone. Right? Kids, you should love the blonde hair on my legs, right? Yeah. Oh, man, listen, right?
I had hairy legs, and I love when the kids come up and play with it.
They used to sit on my knee and stand here and rub on my legs, right? I'm like what, man? None of the kids never saw blonde hair at that point. Like, bro, this is 1930s and shit. Like, fuck are you talking about, Joe? Like, yo, everybody had blonde hair back then. I'm pretty sure.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, master race, according to Hitler.
Well, I'm saying, like, yo, back in the day, there was many, many more of them motherfuckers than there are today, right?
Coincidence?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, I'll be honest, like, up here, like, I'm up in the neck of the woods where, like, I run into them all the time, and it's weird for me. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm not accustomed. Like, I was walking around the I went for my fucking, like, my daily walk or whatever the other day and shit, and I was going around fucking like this place. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like a club / bar / like hall you can rent out to get married and shit. One of them type of deals. You know, it's just like a big fucking building. And I'm assuming like every one of these, like in my brain, you know what I mean? Because like I'm from like the city, I assume like, oh, that's where the Klan meets. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's just you know, that's literally what it is. It's like it's a common hall. That's like what its name is. It's like common places where you meet up, and yeah. You know, you find them all over the place. I've seen in the rural sectors when I was working at Brinks and just traveling the country. I'd see these standalone buildings that are just standing out there. And it's just, it says it's like a meeting hall, town hall, common hall, whatever you want, you know. And that's, you know, where they get together. They'd have the town meetings and they clear it out one day, have a wedding reception down there.
Well, no. Like, yo, it's not like a town hall or anything like that. It's literally like, I'm assuming it used to be like a garage or something, right? Because it got like a dock door on it, right?
Right.
You know, I mean, like it was a business at one point, like maybe a bakery or something along these type of lines. But like today, it just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a fucking empty building, you know what I mean? With like a big a gravel parking lot out back. And they still get like deliveries and shit. I don't know what the fuck it is, right? Like I think it's, again, like a meeting hall. It's like a hall you can rent out for like your wedding or like a party or, you know what I mean? Like if you want to throw a bag or something. I have no fucking idea. Anyway, right? So I was walking by this motherfucker and like, there's these two like blonde kids, like fucking blonde kids. Like
you're talking beach blonde, like
yeah.
Off the hair, California style beach blonde.
Yeah. Curls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they was blonde hair, blue eye babies. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, legitimate third right kids. You know what I mean? Like fucking for real blonde hair, blue eye kids. And like I feel weird, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'm a dad, you know what I mean? So I got 7 fucking kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, you know what I mean? Like, when I see a little kid, I'm like, oh, you know, I miss my monkeys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, fuck, I'm a dad and I miss my kids, right? And, you know, like, you smile at them. But on the same point, you're kind of like, I don't want motherfuckers taking that the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because of the modern day and age and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Fucking... That, you know, the system has been the cathedral has weaponized the system against men so much. True story. I heard this from somewhere. Fucking dad takes his daughter, it was like 12-year-old daughter, on a trip to Britain. And when they get over there, this poor girl has to suffer through the indignities because this fucking Karen Thot walks up to the dad, starts trying to pull the daughter away from him, saying, "You're kidnapping this kid for the sex trade." And the dad's got to go to the embassy, the State Department, get all the paperwork and whatnot to prove that he is the legitimate blood father of this poor girl. It's like he just wanted to take her on a fun trip, you know, give her memories of having a decent father. And this fucking Thot just rolled up out of nowhere. we're taking this whole protect the kids things way too goddamn far. And that's a fucking video.
I was having a discussion the other day in another Discord, right, where I said, like, yo, we live in a matriarchy, right?
It's not even just a matriarchy. It's a fucking gynocentrist society.
That is a matriarchy, son. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking matriarchy. And like, here's the mentality. So like, all right, like if you scale it, right? You know, you put like a scale like 1 to 10 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like of a fucking matriarchy. Like Australia, like if like 10's a full matriarchy and like 1's, you know what I mean, not, right? You know what I mean?
1's
like
a patriarchy, like they keep screaming we live in.
Yeah, right. Like, yo, Australia would be at like a 9.2, right? Right. America's at like a 8.5, but we're still a matriarchy at the end of the day, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like my mentality is this, right? Like our entire system, our whole fucking world is set up as a matriarchy. Right. And like we don't really realize that in the end of the day. Like we don't fucking really see it when it really comes down to it.
No, not really.
All right, well, think about it like this. All right, so the number one consumer in the United States is who?
Women.
Right?
Women.
Like, yo, the reason why McDonald's fucking feeds people what they do, it's because their number one customer is who?
Fat white women.
Single moms.
Pretty much.
Single moms.
Single moms.
Right. Like, yo, the reason why your grocery store is filled up with a bunch of bullshit that doesn't require you to fucking actually cook is because who buys those goods?
Women.
Women doing the shopping.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the reason why like your car has to have more safety features than it does, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking horsepower is why.
Yeah, the answer is going to be the same. It's women, but that's just reminded me that they're just terrible drivers in general.
Right. Like, yo, 10 to 20 million extra vote every motherfucking election.
Women.
Right. Yo, we live in a matriarchy. Like, yo, and they go, oh man, but it's still run by like old white men. And I'm like, them niggas is living.
Who do they cuck over for? That's the question we need to ask them. Same answer. Women.
Yo, them dudes are living hostages in the end of the day. Right. Like, yo, like that's some real shit, right? Like, yo, this is literally a motherfucking matriarchy. There is no part of our society that's ran by fucking men. Like, the reason why we have a police state is to protect who?
Women.
Right? It ain't to protect us. We're armed. We're good. We're fucking fine. You know,
even if we aren't armed, we'll still punch a motherfucker.
That's the
until
mentality.
He stops moving.
TK, nigga, you gonna chime in and say some shit, man?
I keep trying, and people keep talking over me.
Oh man, listen, like, yo, I'll be honest with you. You sound really far away from your mic right now.
Well, I guess I gotta try to get this set up. I don't know.
I don't.
Is he on push to talk? I think I say.
Yeah, there is no push to talk on StreamYards, right? This ain't motherfucking Discord and shit, right? But like, yo, legitimately, we live in a matriarchy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to assume, and it's. I'm kind of on the verge where I'm seeing it. I'm kind of hesitant to call it that, but you know, you're speaking truth on this end because it is a gynocentric society. It exists for the service of women, and that's all it has been for like the last several years. It's like even technically before they even got the right. Well, I would say around the time the right to vote. I still remember that meme we were sharing around about the origins of the mafia. And said a bunch of bored white women didn't want their men, out drinking at 9 to midnight. So they voted to ban alcohol straight up and down. And then fucking, the Irish and the Italians, they weren't going to fucking take that shit. They wanted to be able to drink from dawn till dusk, dusk till dawn, and another way around, just drink all damn day.
They saw a way to make money.
Yeah, they saw a way to make money as well, and they brought in this. That was when the moonshine started running. That's the origins of NASCAR, right there. Is running moonshine through the black of the night, and then that's they started making a bit of business of it.
Basically, NASCAR started because they had to build cars that were fast enough to outrun the law. You know what I mean?
Dukes of Hazzard. There you go. Woo!
Right. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, TK, how you sound now, man?
I don't know. You tell me.
You still sound far away.
You're a little better. You're a little better. It's all right, man. Fucking speak up, though. How you feel, man? Listen, I've made a point the other day that this is a fucking matriarchy. How you feeling about that?
I mean, yeah, it's probably worth also noting that it's specifically like the reason why it doesn't seem like the typical matriarchy, and I think ad hoc you're blowing on your fucking mic.
Am I? I'm probably breathing on it.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. But the reason why it doesn't really click for a lot of people, I think, is because like it's not just a matriarchy, it's a matriarchy for young women, and that's why everything is so fucking unintelligible because young women have no idea what they even want. So if they're the ones who constantly get what they want, then you just get a shit show.
Well, I think it's a matriarchy for older females.
I fundamentally disagree. I don't think older females actually get all that much out of it.
Here,
No,
Sean,
not really.
man, have yourself a wrench, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're welcome, my brother. Everybody gets a wrench when they hit the fucking chat and shit. Usually we have more people out here, but I just now showed us out, so hopefully now they'll start showing up. Right. Yeah, I think it's a matriarchy for older females, right? In particular. You know what I mean? I think it like, how do I put this?
I mean,
Go ahead.
you're not wrong that like at the moment it's particularly geared towards like the boomer females, right? But I think that's more of something to do with the fact that like the boomer females are something like a sixth of our population, right?
Okay.
So like just as an in general thing, it's going to be geared to them since they're the single largest demographic block.
Well,
But
let me add in the cathedral too while we're at it, right? So the
go for it.
mentality's this. So fucking the people who are going to college the most inside of the United States are women, right? Colleges are basically like 60% female at this point. And the parts that are the largest parts of the fucking colleges are the soft political science type of courses, right? The poli sci, psychiatrists, things of this nature. And so these are the females who are coming out of college and going into government. Like government is packed with females, right? Like I went and like your motherfuckers go, oh man, like fucking, what about the court system? Like, yo, legit, I was in court probably 3 times in the past month, right? And I went there for my boy's trial. I went there for my son for his hearing, and I went there for I think like a hearing for something. I forget whatever the fuck it was, right? But I swear to God, every person, including the judge, was a fucking female, right? From the stenographer to the DA to the motherfucking defense attorneys to all that shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, yo, that legit, like I'll be real with you, legitimately, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all of it was all female. And every fucking employee other than the security guards and the bailiffs were all fucking women. And I think now, especially with the fact that you can retire after 20 years inside of the government, a female with, 10 or 11, 12 years of seniority, in particular, the millennial females at this point, right? Because if you hopped in at 24, right, and the older millennials at this point are in their fucking mid 30s, these are the individuals who are actually running the government from inside of the joint, who fucking went to college in the cathedral and came out and are fucking putting their bullshit in the government themselves.
And to put an extra point on that, you combine that with basic bitch hypergamy, all of these females think that there are just no good men because they all have degrees, they all make a bunch of money off the taxpayer, and they all want to date up or sideways, even though, there's 60% of the university graduates, so just like basic math that doesn't work out for pairing people off, right?
It also doesn't work the way that given the colleges are going right now. It's very much a woman's world inside of the colleges. Like probably the most of the dropouts are going to be men. Not necessarily because they fail out, but it's because they don't want to stick around and deal with this fucking bullshit. Like those first few years at college, and this is just from what I've heard. I've never been myself, and thank God for that. is that they're trying to instill all these quote
Yo, hold up. Yo, Fringe Files is in the chat, man.
Requirements, which are really just
that's a female YouTube creator. Man, listen, all right. Usually we do some much more high-end intellectual shit, right? But I'll be honest with you. Today, a Thot tried to feed me fucking Kraft macaroni and cheese, right? And put it in a bacon dish and fucking cook it up and called it baked macaroni. And I'm highly upset about that. Like, yo, I'm beside myself with my mentality about that tonight, right? You know, I mean, that's where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the mentality as far as things is concerned, right? So that's where I am at the moment. You know what I mean? So we're having a conversation about America being a matriarchy, right? Because like, yo, I had this conversation in a Discord call like earlier this week, and you know what I mean? Like, yo, these dudes had nothing for me, right? Other than the prototypical, who hurt you? Your mom must have been terrible, blah, 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 right? You know what I mean? And so I was standing here and I'm just like, yo, look, you know what I mean? America's a matriarchy and individuals have no idea why, right? And have no idea about it. Like when people start spouting off these conspiracy theory things, you know what I'm saying? Like it's mentality of like, oh man, they're trying to kill everybody and they're feeding us cancerous foods and all these type of things. Yo, the real problem is that we have, instead of, how do I put this? Instead of telling like, you know what I'm saying, wives and mothers that like, yo, you made a choice to stand here and have children and, you know what I mean, like, yo, fucking be responsible for that. We go, nah, man, yo, we're going to give you super cheap, affordable fucking food that's industrial processed. You know what I mean? Because that's what you want, right? You want easy. You don't want it to be difficult. You don't want to have to spend, you know what I mean, 6 hours a day preparing food for your family and do the work. You know what I mean? You want to stand here and have something you can pop into the microwave or into the oven or a Lunchable you can just open up and hand your kid. You know what I mean? You want Capri Sun fucking juice pouches.
Yeah, that's like 90% of my diet.
Yeah, man, listen, you're going to die. Like, you're going to catch cancer and die.
Well, I mean, everything's going to give you cancer in this rate. No shit. I actually come from farming stock on my mom's side, and we last went to go visit my farming relatives when my sister got married up there. And, you know, we're having a fucking banquet at my great cousin's place, and she comes straight out and she says, look, you know, the FDA is telling you that if you consume raw wheat that you grew yourself in the field, processed yourself in your own damn mill, and you consume that, you're going to get fucking cancer and die.
Man, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
I know. I looked at her and I'm like, are you fucking serious? And she says, yep.
Like, yo, and here's the thing, like, yo, I had this thought came over here today, right? 3 kids, 5-year-old, 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and, you know what I mean, like an 18-month or like an 11-month-old, right? And legitimately, there wasn't one shoe between 6 feet, right? 6 feet of these kids, you know what I'm saying? These kids had 6 feet altogether, and there wasn't one shoe among them, right? And like, yo, they got mad at me because in the end of the day, I was so aggravated. I'm like, you know what? I'm going fishing. I'm gonna go catch a fish and hang out by the river. You know what I mean? And like, yo, just zone out and vibe and be cool. And
hungry fish.
Huh?
Hungry fish.
Yo, man, listen, I caught a big one after I caught that little one. Now that little perch. I'm happy whenever I see a perch in the river. You know what I mean? Because like this river used to be nothing but perch. The Susquehannock Indians, that was their main diet, was perch, right? But like legitimately, after I caught that little itty bitty perch, right, which is probably about like 5 inches, some shit with a tiny little fish. I caught a nice fish. Yeah, I caught a nice big, you know what I'm saying, like 18-inch fucking catfish.
Oh, that's a meal. That's like a meal.
Perfect size for eating. Yo, he swallowed the hook. He bled out. I felt some sort of kind of way about that, but I was like, fuck it. I just cut the line, threw him back in because I'm like, bro, I'm not eating you. You know what I mean? Yo, because I'm not a huge catfish fan. I'm just not. Like, if I had to eat it, I would. You know what I mean? Like, if I was hungry, but I'll be real. I got cash in the bank. I got money in my crypto right now. I'm fucking smooth.
I mean, if it's dead and you threw it back in there, you're just feeding the perch. They'll probably go after it and just eat them whole.
They won't eat them whole. They'll pick them to pieces. But still, you know what I mean? Right?
Cinnamon was there.
Yo, I'm saying fucking like, yo, check this shit out. So I got a motherfucking message from my baby's mom the other day, right? She's like, you need extra food? And I was like, why? Yo, this bitch has $5,400 in fucking food stamps right now.
What?
Yep,
They're
just
giving
because.
it.
Yeah,
Yo,
they.
TK saw it. You saw the joint, right?
Yeah. Biden upped. Basically, they inflation adjusted food stamps.
So they're shuffling the inflation off onto the food stamps to keep it from affecting the U.S. dollar.
No.
No. What happened is that they printed so much fucking money that the food stamps don't go as far as they used to, so now they're giving them more.
Yo, she's getting $1,100 a month in food stamps.
That's fucking crazy. I can't even eat that much.
That
No,
is,
yo,
shit you not, like a week and a half worth of work for me.
yo, that's like
That's
4
like
days worth of
that's
work
like
for me.
that's like my fucking annual salary.
I better not be your annual salary, like legit. I'm gonna kick you in the teeth and make you get a better job.
It's a little less than it. It's probably maybe about 2/3 about it. Yes, Tom, I'm working on trying to get a better job. I swear. That's why I'm in school right now.
Right, I'm saying, like, yo, legit, you can get a better job anywhere right now than that. Like, yo, I know, yo, every warehouse in the world is hiring forklift drivers for like fucking $22 an hour, bro. Like, yo, go drive forklift on the dock. Like, what are you doing? Like, legit, like, yo, you're making that little amount of money, bro. Get a fucking second job delivering pizzas, you'll make more. But I'm saying, you know, like, legitimately though, like, yo, this bitch got $5,400 in fucking food stamps. And did you notice that when they wanted to pay off the U.S. population, did you see what they just did?
What'd they do? I didn't catch it.
They're handing out $700 a month per kid to every female in this country.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't know about that?
No.
Yeah, child tax credit stuff.
Yeah, and no, here's the thing: you're not filing. No. There's no filing on taxes. Yo, it's just really simple. You ask the government for fucking money, and they just give it to you every month, like a UBI.
Yeah, but
shit, man.
They call it a child tax credit, even though it's advanced.
Like, they're giving they're giving it to welfare recipients. They're giving it to people who don't work.
I don't know if I've seen this
Serious.
one.
Not joking.
Wow.
I would believe it, but I have not seen that particular one. I know that there's the advanced child tax credit.
Oh, shit, man. What the fuck have I been doing as an unmarried, employed, single individual? I feel gypped.
I mean,
Like, they don't care about you because you are outvoted every year.
Oh, damn, that just depresses me more than I was this weekend.
Yo, like, legit, yo, French Files, if you want a link, yo, you can hang on. I'll pop a link to you. Hang on, copy the clipboard here. I'll throw it in the chat for you. Here, you can come on if you want to speak. You know what I'm saying? We always welcome everybody here. That's how that works, right? Legitimately, though, like, yo, women outvote dudes by 10 to fucking 20 million votes every election.
Now, damn, are we like already lost already? Do we really just need to fucking go straight up conquer the Middle East as like a war band? I mean, they'll probably accept us anyway.
Yeah, look, yo, women have been running this country since like 1920, right? And they just don't know it.
Arguably, it was since before then, and that's just when it became more or less official.
Well, no. I mean, like, yo, legally, they've been running this country since 1920, right? Because they could vote at that point, right? Once they gave females the right to vote, they literally sat there and started running things. Like, yo, they've elected every president for the past, like, fucking basically 100 years.
I mean, the Greeks figured this out. If you make woman equal to man, she becomes his superior.
Yeah, and here's the other half. Like, yo, women die after dudes die before women do. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yo, they end up being a massive fucking piece of voter block that, you know what I mean, is much larger than the men who fucking, you know what I mean, actually, you know, do the work and pay the taxes and shit. They literally don't care about you. Like, as a whole, they don't give a fuck about you if you have a fucking penis. They don't give a shit about you in this country. Like,
They
yo,
also
and
don't care if anything they're doing is actually viable, realistic, doable, anything like that. They don't care about that because that, I mean, ignoring reality has not done anything to these people for 100 years at this point.
yeah, like, yo,
Fuck, man.
why do
I'm
you
kind
like,
of.
yo, why do you think they stand here and you know what I mean like they fucking sit here and they'll like yo just ignore fucking the problems in like inner cities and whatever, right? Yo, it's literally because like yo, it's fucking black males that are the problem. It's not black females. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I'm still kind of processing now because the depression spiral has hit me, and I'm just begging for the karma to finally hit.
Yo, Sketchy Smith, welcome to the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? Have you a wrench, my brother? Everybody gets a wrench, so nobody ever gets silenced over here on Pinot News because this is a free speech channel, right? Like, yo, this is legitimately the thing. Like, yo, you have to understand that, like, yo, the fact that like women outvote you by 20 million votes a year, like, yo, literally politicians are pandering to them. There's a reason why there's a massive police state in the motherfucking country. Like, yo, it's because, like, man, listen, they want safety. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about your freedom. Like, yo, when WikiLeaks came out and like nobody lost their mind, right? Like, yo, it was immediately like in my brain, it's like, yo, there's something really wrong with this. Right? Like, yo, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about how much they're spying on you and taking away your freedoms and just abusing their motherfucking power and shit. Nope, not at all. Right? Yo, we're still gonna go like over here and bomb brown people and drone strike the shit out of the rest of the world, and we're not gonna fucking care. We're gonna still send our boys over here to die and fly LGBT flags in the motherfucking Middle East. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, that I'm still really pissed off about that because of the whole fucking thing. It was just like one big what. It's like it was like a one big red versus blue episode. Why are we even here? The more I look at it, the more I compare it to the so-called conflicts of the recent past, the more the Gulf War was an actual fucking fluke. And I'm just sitting here like, you know, we are not the greatest military in the world. Everybody says that, but that's only because of what we achieved of the fucking Gulf War. We are not, because we do not go in with the mentality necessary to conduct ourselves as an actual fucking army. We just don't.
Well, like, yo, you have to understand that, like, legitimately what they're trying to do is make these countries safe for business. They're not trying to make these countries be able to be, you know what I'm saying? Can I send you that link in Discord? Hang on a minute. Copy the clipboard. All right, hang on a minute, but give me a second because I got to reopen goddamn Discord and shit. Yo, hang on a second, man. Hang on a second. I'll get it to you.
Yeah, that can. And it just, the more I look at it, the more of a fluke the Gulf War actually it is. Like, that's how the military force should be operating. But it's not, and it hasn't since World War II. And that's what just fucking baffles me. And it's like, why is America's army having to do this when we have the fucking blue buckets for the UN? This is their job.
Yeah, because the UN military is our military.
Yeah, pretty much. And you also got to remember that, like, the military is still a branch of the government. So that means that whatever's wrong with our greater governmental structures is going to be duplicated in the military. It's just going to be slightly different. Like, the reason we've got LGBTQ flags and all that type of nonsense, the reason why we drone bomb is because that's the type of military enforcement and actions that will make a female not care about them. That and, you know, securing business interests and all that. Like,
they're trying to get a clean war is what they want.
Well, they don't even really care if it's clean. They just want to make sure that they're the domestic population doesn't do anything about it, because what it is it's a great grift.
Well, like here's the mentality. So like, yo, you have to understand that, like, yo, you have to look at how they're selling these wars to you, right? And how they sell these fucking wars is they stand here and they go, oh man, like, yo, these women in these countries, they're oppressed. You know what I mean? They have to wear burqas and they're not allowed to, like, yo, stand here and make porn, and they're not allowed to put themselves on Instagram as thoughts, right? And like, you know, they don't have any real freedom. They're not even allowed to abort their babies. And you just stand here and you go, wait, what? Hang on, wait.
Yeah,
what?
I don't ever recall a war being sold to me in that way, because if it had, I would have not even bothered trying to sign on when I did back when I was 18.
Well, like,
I would have looked at that and gone, "What the fuck are you going on about? Get out of here with this bullshit."
Well, like, no, that's how they sold this fucking war, was like, yo, these are backwards people who fucking enslaved their women and, you know, I mean, have multiple wives. I mean, this was all over the place back in the day. They get 72 versions when they kill themselves, you know, I mean, all this shit. Remember?
Yeah, that's not how I fully remembered it. I remember, you know, the U.S. got sucker punched in the eye, and we were told we had to go back and, you know, hit them back. It's like you can't punch the U.S. without expecting some kind of retaliation. That's the way it got sold for me.
Well, Iraq had nothing to do with motherfucking 9/11, and it was well known, right? From the moment they started going to Iraq, everyone said, wait, what? Nigga, do you own a map? Like, yo, that's not the place, right?
We dug that motherfucker Saddam Hussein or whatever out of a goddamn cave in Pakistan.
He was in the no. That was Osama bin Laden.
Oh yeah.
Right, that was yeah. Well, and he wasn't in the cave. He was French Files. What up? Right. He wasn't in the cave. He was in a fucking in a compound and shit. They found him, and like there was like mattresses all over the place and like DVD players and shit. You know what I mean? And mad computers set up. Right. That's where they found Osama bin Laden. And when they found, Saddam Hussein, that nigga was underground in a bunker, right? And they
found him first.
Yo, that shit was hilarious. But French Files, what up?
Hey, can y'all hear me okay? I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
You're perfect. We hear you.
All right.
It sounds way better than I do on my fucking phone.
It's starting to go robo there, Tom.
Yeah, probably. Fucking goddamn pain in the ass. All right. But yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sound way better than I do on my phone. My phone was trash.
eBay, just hit up eBay. Don't get the latest and greatest. Just
well, I'll be real. Like, I've had Boost Mobile like forever because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a hood dude. And they're like talking about like now Boost Mobile is actually getting closed down as of like January 1st of next year. So I got to find a new goddamn company and shit.
Just get on Straight Talk. That's what I use. I don't use anything big or crazy. I'm kind of like that too. I don't want to spend mad money for something like that.
I was looking at Verizon. I think they wanted like $180 a month for 2 fucking lines. And I was like, bro, that's entirely too much goddamn money.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Just go to Straight Talk and then like just figure out how much data you normally use, and then you'll know what plan is right for you. They've got everybody way overpaying for that shit. I
use like 80 gigs of data a month.
All right, that's kind of a lot on the phone.
Yeah, I'm a data monster, right? I'm a trucker, so like I watch my shit going down the road all day.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I need like unlimited data. That's kind of my mentality, right? You know what I mean? But anyway, no love for T-Mobile. Yo, I'll be real, man. Listen, all right. T-Mobile won't let me have a T-Mobile phone because back in the day when they first came out with the T-Mobile phone, like, yo, I may have ran up like a $2,000 bill, you know what I mean? Because they were charging per minute and shit, right? And I was a kid and like wasn't thinking about these things, right?
Lol. Lol.
And like as a kid, you just put that on a thief loan. You'd be like, bro, if I make it big one day, you'll get that money back. If not, then it was just stolen. Like that's just how that money worked. That's how that worked at that moment. But anyway, yeah. So, friends, you wanted to come in and have a conversation about this matriarchy argument. What do you think?
Oh, I just popped in. I saw in Discord the title, right? And I had to click on it because every single time I see this shit on Facebook all the time, on Instagram. Some lady will think that they just made like a bomb ass meal, and I'm like, it's fucking beanie weenies, some Kraft mac and cheese, and dinosaur chicken nuggets. I'm like, that's not a meal. And this is like what they're feeding dudes. So the dinosaur nugget.
Don't worry about yo. He's a white person. Don't worry about him. Like this dude thinks ramen noodles is like an actual meal.
No. So, I know that isn't a meal, but it's keeping me fed. It's keeping me alive.
Do what you gotta do sometimes.
I've never had a ramen noodle in my life, like ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'll be real. Like, I would much rather starve to death than motherfucking eat ramen noodles and fucking hot dogs. Like, I just won't do it. God damn it.
All right, don't hate on it though. Like, I'll eat it. I
won't eat it. I refuse. I'm an Italian. Like, yo, we literally gave to fucking America noodles. Like, yo, and I'll be damned. It's like I'm gonna eat fucking ramen. Like, fuck out of here with that shit.
No, I mean the way they make it in Japan, Tom. You know, you could make your own noodles and keep your Italian pride, and then make a good soup out of it. And there you go.
Yo, man, I'm not Japanese though, right? I don't eat that fucking sushi shit. All right. I mean, like, yo, no. I like my fish cooked. Okay, like I'm a fucking human being.
I ate like $50 worth of sushi this weekend. It was.
I don't care. All right, legit. No, I'm not eating sushi. I will not eat motherfucking goddamn ramen noodles. I don't eat hot dogs. All right, I don't eat Kraft macaroni and cheese. But it was fed to me today, and they tried to pretend that it was baked macaroni. Like, yo, and that's not fucking cool.
No, that's not.
That's what I said, right? Like, oh, my girl invited her best friend over or whatever, a friend. I have no idea, man. Listen, I don't know what their relationship is because I don't pay attention to what females do, right? So, like, she invited this broad over, right? And like, she's like, yeah, like, we're gonna cook out in the grill. And I'm like, yeah, man, we'll cook out in the grill, whatever. You know what I'm saying? To be fucking pimping. She's like, she's gonna bring over the stuff to make baked macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, yo, fuck yes. You know what I mean? I love baked macaroni and cheese. And so, like, she gets over here, and I'm saying I'm outside working. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working in the yard, whatever. I got to break apart some concrete and shit, and I'm burning off the trash, and you know what I mean? I got to bag up some stuff, and I'm like throwing dirt into the woods and shit. I got things to do, right? You know what I mean? And so I'm standing here, and like, yo, I got the grill going or whatever. They got charcoal and shit, and I got the grill going, whatever. And so, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I get the chicken ready. You know what I mean? I told her, I said, look, I got a fresh basil plant out front. You know what I mean? Like, pull some fucking leaves off that motherfucker, chop them up, throw them in a bag, throw some orange juice in there, a little bit of onions and some garlic. You know what I mean? Make you a little motherfucking like marinade forward or whatever. Leave it sitting there like 5 minutes. We'll take a chicken, throw it on the grill, be ready to rock. I get the chicken, throw it on the grill, cover it in Seitan Goya. It's rocking and rolling. I let that shit cook. I come inside, turn the game on or whatever. And I noticed that there's some like Kraft macaroni and cheese, fucking like the Velveeta joint on my fucking counter.
Velveeta, why? Sorry, I have bad nightmares from the time when I was back at the academy. They gave us Velveeta and tried to call it grilled cheese. Nobody would eat it.
Ew.
Yo, look, when I was a kid, we had government cheese, right? And this is back in like the 90s and shit. Like, and like all the steel mills around here closed down, and like everybody was, you know what I'm saying, all like, you know, poor or whatever. And so we had government cheese, and that's basically what it was Velveeta.
Why? I think it was like the gourmet stuff too. Why does Velveeta even exist?
Yo, because people are lazy. They're lazy
and they don't care. Yeah.
That's the mentality. Why? Motherfuckers is lazy. Yo, Cow Fart is not wrong. He said the only thing Velveeta is good for is fish bait.
Yeah. I don't know. Even then, that just seems cruel to the fish.
Right. I mean, like, yo, legitimately though, like, yo, they took these motherfucking joints, made macaroni and cheese, then put it in a baking dish and put it in the oven and tried to call it baked macaroni.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I mean, I can understand the Velveeta, but I'm like wondering where would you get the actual noodles, Tom? Where do you actually get the noodles for this? Genuine question.
Noodles for what?
for the baked mac and cheese. It's like if it's not the box Kraft stuff, where would you go to go get some proper
You
proper
can just-
macaroni?
You can get some San Giorgio and it'll work just fine.
Yeah, you can just literally buy macaroni elbows. Like they sell them in massive tubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I don't think I have any just macaroni shells per se, but like I've got linguine, spaghetti,
rigatoni.
all different kinds of noodles over here.
Yeah, you'll find it.
I won't lie, like I do
the other
have
dried pasta.
boxed mac and cheese, but that's more like a snack. That's like a snack setting, and it's not Kraft. It's like Simply Nature or Annie's or Amy's or what the fuck ever.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the noodles is what confuses me, but if it's like the Velveeta, Tom, I understand the rage. It's like, why?
Like, yo, my mentality is this, right? Like, yo, look, all right, if you're gonna make, you know what I'm saying, like baked macaroni and cheese, right? It requires like
go all the way with it.
Yeah, you gotta get like 3 different cheeses. You gotta get, you know what I'm saying, some milk. Some motherfuckers put eggs in that shit, the breadcrumbs on top. Like, yo, that's how you make baked macaroni and cheese. It's a dish. It's soul food. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers is over here like legitimately like, yo, this white trash Thot, right? Legitimately, right? I'm white trash. Right? I know what I am. And I'm with it. I started the white trash no state. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we do over here. But like this broad, went the whole way with it. She brought 3 kids over. They had 6 feet between them and no shoes. Like, how do you do that? How do you bring your kids to somebody else's house and they ain't got no shoes? They got, the one of them didn't have no clothes.
I think we've made Fringe hungry. I think it sounds like she's making noodles right now.
Oh, I was like, actually, can y'all hear that?
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
I'll turn my mic off unless I am actually in the middle of doing dinner. So
it's cool. It's cool. I'm saying though, like, how are you gonna stand here and bring 3 kids over with no clothes and no shoes?
Are you in like a really country area or?
I'm in Appalachian, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
He's rural. He's very rural.
That sounds like some country, super country shit.
Yo, I'm saying that my kid is not. I mean, like, all right. So if it's like 90 degrees outside, like I'll take. I mean, like a young kid the hell out in the car seat with no clothes on. That's fine, right? But like, you don't stand here and take. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're fucking like 2-year-old kid who's running around and walking outside with no fucking clothes and no shoes on, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yo, you don't bring your 6-year-old to somebody else's house without shoes on ever, like period.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense. They're gonna be running around. You get some good shoes.
Just get some shoes in general. I don't care if they flip-flops. Put something on his feet. Like, yo, you put something on your kid's feet. Like, why would you bring your kid to somebody else's house without nothing on their feet?
That is a mystery.
Like, yo, and she's 24 years old. She just recently broke up with her dude, and now she's a stripper. Like, yo,
great decisions.
Yo.
Hi, Jim.
Yo, man, listen, like, I be trying to tell dudes, like, man, listen, like, I'll be real, like, yo, if you're gonna get in a relationship with a female, make sure she's over 30. That's the mentality.
I mean, by then they're starting to hit the wall, so they're starting to panic as well.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they're gonna behave themselves. Like, they're not gonna be out here like going to the strip club, going to the bar. You know what I mean? All that type of shit. Like, that's the mentality. Right?
I don't know if that's true though. There's lots of ladies that are much older than I that are still living really crazy lives.
Yo, if you got kids and you're over 30, I'll be real. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen one of them that's living them type of lives. Right? You know, but like if you ain't got no kids and you're like in your 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've seen a lot of like they're heroin addicts and meth heads and shit. That's the reason they ain't got no kids is because like their vagina is broken. You know what I mean? Legit. You know what I mean? They the Jones, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they didn't have like 45 miles of fucking dick ran through them and shit. Like them motherfuckers have more yardage than motherfucking Aaron Rodgers' career ran through their fucking pussy. That's a whole different thing. Shit. Right? You know what I mean? Like, yo, them bros, yo, they didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they didn't have like chlamydia like 8 times. The fallopian tubes is like burn out. Like, yo, it is what it is. Yeah, yo, man, listen, if you a female in your mid-30s and ain't got no kids, I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, she can't have kids at that point. That's the mentality. There's a reason for it. You know what I mean?
I would say hopefully they're just being smart and don't want hopefully. I mean, I'm not 30 yet, but there's a lot of people that financially just they know they can't take that burden, so they just won't.
You know, the government will help you like all day. You know
but if you were somebody like me, I don't want that. You know, I wouldn't want that for a kid.
I feel you, but like if you wait, you know what I'm saying? Like the chances of you coming out with a water-headed kid is like exponentially increased.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem we're in right now with a lot of the birth rates is because you've got women trying to wait until they're in their 30s and 40s. And it's like, as soon as you start reaching mid-30s, you're actually kind of reaching the danger zone. Like, the time for you to best actually have kids as a woman is in your 20s. But they want to wait and do all this other stuff.
But on top of that, you got to also think, like, some of our grandmas and stuff could have been popping out kids for fucking ever. The diets are different too. So just as you get up there in age, like I think that diet has a lot to do with it. I mean, I want to have kids before I'm 30, but at the same time, like I don't know if that'll end up happening.
Well, you also have the issue there where like a fertile woman who is not pregnant is going through an egg every like month or so, right? Roughly. If she's pregnant, she's not wasting that one egg every month. So the longer she's pregnant while she's younger, the longer she'll be fertile when she gets older.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a good point, right? My grandma had like 14 kids and shit, right? You know,
right. Because
like that, she spent like her 20s and 30s pregnant.
Yeah.
Like you feel like my mom means like we're 20 years apart and shit. You know what I mean? Right, almost exactly. Like it's like 2 months off.
Same with my mom. That's weird.
Well, that's what's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Like, yeah, when I came out, I was a savage. The only problem is like my mom, you know what I mean? She was like a feminist, bro. Right? You know what I mean? So she fucked up her relationship and shit with my fucking pops. And I'll be honest, my dad's also a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, yo, he was a 70s dude and he liked to party. So that's a bit of an issue too when you're being in a relationship. Right.
Yeah.
Like, both of those the generation came before me was terrible. Like, they were horrible human beings. Like, baby boomers are garbage. Right. You know, that's why, like, I'd be like, man, listen, like, yo, we should have been handing out, you know what I'm saying, COVID blankets and pillows to the fucking nursing homes when this shit came out. Right. Done us all a fucking favor and saved us some Social Security money. But you fuck the boomers. Yo, but yeah. Oh, by the way, yo, fucking I may have talked somebody into getting a jab this week, bro.
Getting a what?
Getting a jab.
Talking into it?
Yeah, I'll be real. Let me explain myself. So this dude's 31 years old. He's 450 pounds, and he said he's gonna lose his job if he don't get the jab.
Yeah.
I would still say just don't get it. Don't.
I would too if, you know, we were talking about like a worthwhile human being.
It's the fact that he's 400 pounds. You're saying fuck him.
No, like at that point, that's your option. Like you either, you know, cope and cuck, or you be a man who can handle your business. Those are your two options.
Well, no, I mean, here's my thing, right? All right, so the problem is we know that if you're morbidly obese, right, like the chances of you dying, right, are exponentially increased.
From anything, though.
Anything.
So you've got somebody in this chat that doesn't even really COVID coronavirus. That's been on a Lysol can for over 20 years. So.
Well, he's kind
I don't
of
believe in the
fucked
COVID hype
either way.
Well, I don't really believe the hype either. But on the same point, how many more variants are we gonna have? And if you can have a lesser chance of
it doesn't
somebody
matter. We've had tons of variants of colds forever. Like
I feel you.
It doesn't change my process on the thinking, you know.
It does. It changes it a little bit for me, and I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because like as we watch individuals who are like extremely morbidly obese die of the coop, right? You know what I'm saying? And not die of like the flu. You know what I mean?
They're not testing for flu. They're not testing for flu at all. So, and I can say that. My grandpa just died a couple of days ago, and they labeled it as COVID pneumonia. So he had pneumonia. We don't know what strain of pneumonia he had. They wouldn't test for that. They wouldn't test him for flu at all. He was in the hospital for 3 days, and he just died a couple of days ago. And my mom, like my stepmom, it was my step-grandpa, but that's still my grandpa, right?
That's still your grandpa. He was grandpa-ly towards
if you liked him, you know what I'm saying? That's the
I loved it. He taught me a lot.
There you go. Then.
A lot about life.
Claim him. He is yours rightfully.
Oh yeah, and like even through all of that, you know, they could have put COVID on the label, but I still like if you wouldn't test for anything else, how am I to actually know?
Well, like here's the mentality. So like, all right, we know that like if you catch the flu and you know what I'm saying, like it gets worse. Right, you can end up catching pneumonia from it. You can end up with pneumonia because pneumonia isn't a disease, right?
Yeah,
it's a bacteria, is what it is.
Yeah,
here's how the whole thing really breaks down: is you have COVID, which attacks your heart. It attacks your heart and lungs, your circulatory system. Your body can fight it off, but then it's weakened. And when it's weakened, the actual bacteria that causes pneumonia can move in easier and actually cause a fatal reaction. Yeah. So it's not the COVID itself; it's the follow-up disease that can that'll kill you.
Right. And at 450 pounds, right?
You're due for a heart problem anyway.
you're like like the chances of you surviving, right, is very, very it's lessened. You know what I'm saying? Like as a whole.
It's like your lungs and heart are already working against that weight on your rib cage.
Yeah. Right. So I was like, bro, just get the jab. I'll be honest. Even if you quit your job, get the fucking jab, dude. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, because I like the dude, you know what I mean? As a person. And I'm like, I'd like to see you survive. You know what I mean? And if you can have a chance of having, you know what I mean, like COVID not affect you in a way that's going to kill you, I think you should, you know what I mean? I think it's a better chance. That's my mentality as a whole. Right. You know what I mean? If you're a perfectly healthy human being, I don't understand like why they're forcing you to get the jab. That's fucking dumb. Right? For motherfuckers who are like extreme risk, you should probably take the fucking jab. Like, for fuck's sake. It's a basic ass premise. It's like old people. Like old people every year gets a flu shot. Why do old people every year get the flu shot? Because it makes it less of a chance of them getting the fuking flu and dying.
I would say that also.
That's not true either. What the hell did I just walk into?
Well, the thing to understand is that vaccines as a whole, your immune system is incredibly fucking metal. But the thing is that when you're a newborn, you don't have all the protections you have available because, well, your immune system is incredibly fucking metal and the most absolute fucking ruthless, savage thing on the planet. It's slow to wake up. And any vaccine, what it's meant to do is it's meant to kind of get your immune system awake and working against whatever it may do. Think of it like this. When
I would
think of it
say
like
in many cases
like a boxer.
it destroys your immune system.
No, it doesn't.
In many cases.
It does not. It does not.
Well,
think of it like this.
Like the polio, the motherfucking, the polio, the meningococcal, tetanus, right? Like, I've had like.
Did you know that 80% of polio cases go undetected because they don't actually hurt you? And the polio outbreak that we had, where everybody said that a vaccine fixed it, was actually caused by heavy industrial chemicals. And the same exact side effects that you get from those heavy industrial chemicals is the same as what COVID is. And they later called it Guillain-Barré syndrome, which you can actually get from vaccines. It's labeled on the insert.
Right. But here's the thing, is that your immune system can actually fight off the real thing, but it's not as effective. If you think of it in terms of, like, say, a boxer, a vaccine is like the whole Eye of the Tiger training scene from Rocky. And then when it goes up against the actual disease itself, like the actual fighter in the fighting ring, it's more able to fight it off effectively. That's the general mechanic of how vaccines work.
Although, to be completely clear there is some question as to, like, what role the antibodies have, because there's some evidence now that the antibodies don't actually show up until your body actually has the virus under control. And
absolutely. Yeah, that's the case. Yeah. Is that the video I watched says that the B cells that release the antibodies, like if it's an unknown infection, like your body, this is the first time your body has encountered the disease, it knows nothing. And it will take up to anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks for it to find the correct B cells, for the B cells to replicate and then spread the antibodies. So it's a very long time. The point of the vaccine is to wake it up sooner, because it's basically injecting it with dead versions of the virus that won't actually do you any harm. Like I said, it's a training dummy. The body realizes, this is a foreign contaminant, and it wakes your immune system up sooner. So then, and once, everything dies down, you still have that low-level antibody count in there. So that when the real infection shows up, your body realizes what's going on, and the B cells reactivate faster, which gives your body a fighting chance to kill the infection faster before it does you serious harm and you become actually sick.
That
right.
is
So how do we feel about this mentality of, like, OSHA forcing individuals with everybody over 100 employees to catch or to fucking make their fucking employees get the fucking jab?
I think it's fucking retarded.
I think OSHA needs to suck a dick in general. Like,
I'd agree.
I'm not going to sit here and, tell people that they, shouldn't get the jab. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and accept people forcing the jab on anybody. Your health is a personal responsibility, and you should have agency over that. If you want to get it, fine. If you don't want to get it, that's fine too. Sitting there and forcing it on everybody is kind of where the greater good becomes the greater harm. And I am not okay with that, because what it's doing is it's taking away the lesson that is personal responsibility to yourself. Learning to take care of yourself is like the first step of learning personal responsibility, which is going to translate to other facets of your life.
Yeah, and that's just been gone forever. I mean, there is no more personal responsibility anymore, right? Like, you almost don't have to be held accountable for anything either. I don't put a seatbelt on because I'm going to get a ticket if I don't. I put a seatbelt on because I'm not a dumbass. It's kind of that's my mentality.
Yeah, a seatbelt has legitimately saved my life twice. I've had 2 different car accidents where I would have died and been thrown from the window if I had not been wearing a seatbelt. Other people, they don't really wear a seatbelt. My roommate doesn't wear one.
I've had 2 accidents where I didn't wear a seatbelt, and you know what I'm saying, like, I was good.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine on this end. If you've had experience where you realize, you're safer with or without it, at this case, you're exercising.
I do wear my seatbelt in my truck, like in my tractor trailer, because I will get a ticket if I don't.
Fair enough.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's my mentality. Right. Because it's literally like fucking like a major goddamn ordeal if I don't wear my seatbelt in the fucking truck. Right.
Yeah.
But like if I'm driving my fucking Tahoe or my motherfucking, my fucking GMC or whatever, I ain't wearing no fucking seatbelt. Like, yo, fuck them. I hate that fucking feeling.
That's fair enough. But this is, Me, I would have definitely been thrown from my car and died if I had not been wearing a seatbelt. The fact that I was wearing a seatbelt, all I suffered was like some light bruising, and that was it.
Nah,
But that's again,
I bent the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I held on to the steering wheel so hard that I literally bent the motherfucker.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really, regardless of the outlook. Both of us believe in the personal responsibility, of what safety we feel is necessary for us to safely drive our respective vehicles.
Yeah. If you choose not to, I'm not mad at you for it. I mean, that's your decision. I don't think anybody should give you a ticket for that. It's dumb.
Like I don't like the idea of the government fucking telling me how to live as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole, just don't fuck with me. That's my mentality.
I mean, like my mentality is this, right? So like, if you are like a morbidly obese individual, I'm gonna tell you should probably lose weight, right? If I give a fuck about you, you know what I mean? if I don't like you, I'm gonna tell you should eat more, right? Because that's what I do. That's my mentality, right? As a whole, like I think that, you know what I'm saying, like as human beings, we should have the right and responsibility to take care of ourselves as we see fit, just like we do with like our children and shit, right? I don't think the government should step in and tell me like, if I don't want to put my kids in the public school, I shouldn't fucking have to, right? Like if I feel as though it's more important for my kid to learn how to be like a person than it is for him, you know what I'm saying, to go to goddamn school and deal with their fucking social bullshit, maybe I should motherfucking have the right to make the fucking decision for my kid to go, yo, man, he needs a little time. Let him do his thing and be cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fucking important as a whole.
Yeah.
I think at most the government should be able to say, can your kid read and write? And even then, it can't really. I don't think it should be able to tell you what language. Because of that.
Well, that's the sad part, right? Is they scare you out of homeschooling because they think that you won't do a good enough job. But it's like, I was out of high school it was only like a couple years ago, and still there were people that could not read, could not write. They can't do. I'm not even good at math, but at least I did a little bit better than other people. Well, and it was scary. Like,
understand that the people teaching your kids are mostly not like the actual teachers, but like the paras. And I have watched paras drink hand sanitizer.
Watch
wow.
what?
Okay, so
you watch parents drink. Yo, bro, get closer to your mic.
Sorry.
Pariah.
So there's no. There's a type of teacher called a para. They're not actually qualified as an actual full-grown teacher.
Oh.
They're called paras. So
that's a new terminology. I always heard that they were more assistant teachers or
I've heard teachers assistants.
Something else.
It might be something peculiar to our neck of the woods out here, but anyhow, they've got like an associate's degree instead of like a bachelor's for a teacher, right? But they're the ones who end up teaching, especially like the special ed kids, and they give a lot of the lessons and they teach a lot of the stuff. And I have seen one straight up drink hand sanitizer straight out of the bottle.
Why? I knew a fucking actual glue eater back in kindergarten, but that's just why? Were they trying to get drunk off the alcohol or something?
Yes,
I had an English teacher.
These are the people who are teaching your kids.
Yeah. I had an English teacher who was a well-known heroin addict in my fucking school.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, like. Again, like I don't understand like why it is that we fucking think that school's that goddamn important. Like I'll be honest, like I hated school like with a fucking passion, and I don't want to send my fucking kids there. I don't want to force them to have to do that if they don't want to do it. If they go, man, listen, I don't want to go back to that fucking shit box. And I'm like, feel you. You know what I'm saying? How about let's not do that, right? And like, yo,
that's understandable.
You know what I mean?
I had this argument with at least somebody in the fucking the rhetoric server in there. He asked the question is like, is democracy really kind of the best way? if everybody is stupid. And I said, well, no, for democracy to function as intended, everybody needs to be educated on some level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, democracy is dumb.
And they purposely made sure that you're not educated. But if you wanted it to work better than it does, you should be educated.
Do you think
it's also worth noting that like more kids have been raped in the public school system than have ever been raped in any Catholic church?
That's a good
had to
one.
fling some shade that way, had you, TK?
But like, yo, Fringe, do you really think it's on purpose?
Yeah,
I think it's on purpose that they're trying to make the kids dumber.
Well, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I really don't. I think legitimately it's just the fact that like we continually lower the goddamn bar, right? Because like,
why do you think we do that though?
Yo, because we don't want to hold parents responsible.
Basic facts.
Yeah.
I mean, that still would play into like making sure that you don't have a well-educated society.
No. I think legitimately they don't want to hold parents responsible because like parents will sue the fucking school every time like their fucking kids get their feelings hurt.
I've seen the meme where you've got the you got two different images. You had like a fucking 1830s schoolmarm and the kid cowering on one side, and then on the other side it's like a modern school teacher in the sweater and the kid just sneering, and you've got the parents snarling at the kid on the first side, but you got the parents snarling the teacher on the other side, but both parents are saying the exact same thing. Care to explain these grades? And they're holding a piece of paper with an F. It's more like, back in like, the 1800s, the schoolmarm was God in there. They could do no wrong, and everybody held the kid accountable for their actions. And then, in this day and age, the kid has no real agency, and the school is being held accountable for all this. And it's like, but in the base end there, it's like the parents don't want to be held accountable for their own kid.
Yeah,
Common Core, legitimately, or Common Core math, like for instance,
it is the stupidest thing I have ever goddamn seen.
Like, yo, that's how I do math in my head any fucking way. Like, I don't understand why everybody's so upset about that shit. Like, it's basically how the fuck I do math anyway.
Well, and here's where the thing is, Tom. You get the question is, what does 5 times 3 show your work? The kid writes 5 3 times, says it's 15, and calls it good. Common Core says, no, you're wrong. You have to write 3 15 times. It's fucking contrary.
Yeah, no, that's what it is, and that pisses me off too.
It doesn't matter how you get to the answer. It's what is the fucking answer?
Yo, they did this with us too. They did the same thing with us. That's why I fucking hated school, because they always made you show your work when I was like, bro, I can do this in my head. You know what I mean? Again, like, yo, Common Core is nothing more than just writing out what the fuck it is you're doing in your head. And it's the same way when they fucking did long division and goddamn fucking long multiplication. They wanted you to stand here and write out the entire equation to show that you fucking knew the core concepts and stupid bullshit that they wanted you to know, because that's what the fuck it is they did, because they were fucking retarded. Like, that's...
But see, that's what my problem was in school, is if I didn't get the answer the way they wanted me to get the answer, then it was wrong. Even if I showed all of my work, it's still wrong because I didn't do it their way. Their
way or the highway. If you find a different or better way that works for you, doesn't matter. If you do it their way, that is the only way. And that's the big problem.
Well, I mean, again,
if you show how you arrive at the answer, and the answer is the same thing.
This comes down to, like, the mentality of this is industrialized education, right? And I mean, just like if you ever go to court, right, you're charged with a crime, like, mad motherfuckers will ask you, like, what are they thinking? What are they doing? What are they saying, right? Like, it's a constant thing. Like, oh man, I'm fucking like, yo, what do you hear, man? Here's the mentality to a court system. You're the same as a box that an Amazon employee fucking shipped last Thursday at 3:00. Right? He don't fucking remember that box. It's the same with the court system. It's the same with the educational system. It's all industrialized. It's not made to be personalized. But we have this romantic idea inside of our fucking head because it was sold to us in a manner in which we watched it on TV where like, all these teachers have like a fucking relationship with their kids. And, I mean, like, oh man, like everybody's all happy and it's like fucking Dawson's Creek or whatever fucking dumb shit that they sold to you. But it's not the truth. It's the same way that like black people see white people on TV, right? And like they think everybody lives in the fucking suburbs in a nice fucking house. When the truth of the matter is like the vast majority of white people are poor white trash motherfuckers who, are sitting on a couch from the 1980s they found on the side of the road and shit.
Yep.
This is the problem. It's our mentalities that are fucking wrong. Because like we have these expectations of like fucking schooling and fucking our government and our fucking world that just absolutely ain't a fucking fact. And it's aggravating. You know what I mean? Yo, man.
I mean, I guess to a degree, I've never said that I wanted anybody to hold my hand or I thought that school was going to be like that, all sunshine and butterflies. I'm just saying we've got a lot of kids that can't get ahead because, again, if on a math test, I have to, let's say that there's 20 different answers on that math test and I need 20 different ways to do the exact same equation. That's fucked up. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as I know how to get the number, it doesn't matter.
Well, like, but like, it doesn't, like, and again, it's back to like, it's an industrialized system. So like, they want everybody to be the same so that they don't have to sit there and individualize your curriculum to you. Right. It's just like, look, I got an IQ of $139. All right. And I'm a fucking high school dropout with a GED. I break down works like Machiavelli on my fucking channel and goddamn fucking Edward Bernays propaganda, and like I can grasp like fucking deep concepts. Dudes are retired on my channel off my fucking economic predictions and shit. Right. And I'm a super smart person. But on the same point, I don't know where to put a fucking period and a comma in a sentence because like the fucking education system was garbage to me.
I can just say now.
I can feel you there, Tom.
Yeah,
that hammered into my skull.
That shit never even mattered to me. And I like what you just said there because I'm just going to take your word for it that your IQ is like where you say it is. A lot of people don't have that, right? And those are the same people that nitpick you all day about spelling and punctuation. And they feel like they're on their fucking high horse. Yet they couldn't actually solve any kind of real world issues, right?
Ouch!
Like
That's
I
a little
can't
personal.
stand that.
Easy.
Are you that kind of person where you're just
I am not as anal about it.
Yeah, look, we call them midwits around here. All right, they're like you're being like you and like the entire populace is being educated by individuals who are just above average.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, like I'll sit here and I will sit here and try to use proper grammar, spelling, punctuation, everything when I'm busy writing everything out. But I'm not a full-on Nazi who will tell you that you lost an argument because you can't fucking spell.
Right? Like people get so butthurt to that point. The only time that I am ever going to use precise and perfect grammar is when I'm in a situation where I absolutely have to. Like if I'm going to get a job, I'm not going to speak how I normally speak whenever I'm just like by myself or talking to you guys. I'm going to speak a little bit more uppity, right? Formal. And if I'm going to write a paper or a resume or anything like that that's going to somebody professional, yeah, it's going to be above and beyond. But in normal everyday life, like that stuff doesn't matter. Look at any genius's notes. They're scattered. They're not perfect. They're all over the place. And none of the grammar is perfect.
We have a system that's specific to us. We understand it. You're not supposed
to. You're not supposed to. It's my organization, not yours.
Well, like the mentality is that they're trying to bring the bottom up and not the fucking and they end up bringing the top down. That's why.
Oh my god! That's why I couldn't fucking stand school later on when they implemented the whole, no child left behind policy. I was one of the upper echelon people. Like I would literally not do any schoolwork, take the final exam, and just blow my teacher's mind when I wound up near top of the class, if not top of the class. It's like, I've seen you sleeping on your textbooks. You're not turning in any of the homework. You're barely completing any of the classwork, but you're blowing the final exam out of the water. And it's like, why are you doing this? And I'm just going to look at them and go, I was so bored in your class because you were catering to the lowest common denominator that I fell asleep on my textbook and learned via osmosis.
I mean, like, French, think about it like this, right? So who would take a fucking job that pays $35,000 a year, right? But you can retire in 20 years and you get full health benefits. Is it going to be the top echelon of the individuals who are going to take that job?
Not.
Right? Like, that's the problem. And that's why it feels like they're making you dumber, because the people who are educating you are fucking dumb. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's still like a purposeful thing, right? No. Yes, to make sure, because why do other countries far surpass us in everything? Why do they far surpass us?
Because they have most of them have a homogenous fucking population, and because of the fact that they're able to spend more on education because they don't have a defense budget.
They also promote competition among their education as well. If you look at the culture in Japan, and this is for my fucking weeb showing, they are very competitive. Like, only the top 50 people will actually even get into high school, and of that, only the top 20 will get into college.
And you notice you mentioned a country, you know what I'm saying, that legitimately their military is paid for by who?
Us. Yes, I know.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Same with Europe, right? All these other countries in Europe, they have no militaries at all, right? We provide it for them, right? So therefore, the United States spends $1 trillion a year on education, right? And we have a population of people who have an IQ from anywhere from like fucking 70 to 160, right? Probably higher. I don't know how high IQ goes, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, you're about in the ballpark. Like, I think I saw a graph that TK promoted once. It was like 100.
And we keep bringing in more and more immigrants who don't speak the fucking language. So that means we now have to teach the fucking education or the curriculum in 2 different languages. Right. So we have to spend a massive amount of fucking money in order to sit here and actually pay for our fucking education budget. It's why, there's logistics behind things, but it seems like, they're trying to fuck us. But the truth is like, we just don't have the ability to pay for fucking the education we want. Because if we did, we'd end up standing here splitting up the individuals inside of schools. Like, you'd have like fucking the smarter people and men and women be fucking separated in fucking schools and have separate schools altogether for them. And we can't afford that. But the rest of the countries can. They can. Switzerland can afford this. Germany can afford this. You know what I'm saying? These are countries who, like, they have great education, but they have no military. You know what I'm saying? And like, the vast majority of what they do is paid for by us.
I don't know, Tom. I mean, with all the fucking federal grants,
and on top of it, again, like, we can't afford it. We can't afford to pay for what we want. And on top of that, all these prescription, the fact that like we spend something like, what is it, like 1/3 of our fucking income on goddamn healthcare or something like that, or some crazy fucking number, right? It's like $3 trillion a year we spend on fucking healthcare. It's because we're literally subsidizing the rest of the fucking world.
Yeah, I don't really know, Tom. Considering what we know of the education system and all the federal grants and everything that's going out there, it's why these colleges are suddenly now jacking up tuition prices so they can effectively afford to pay for all these new campus buildings and all these useless parasocial fucking degrees that are worth dog shit.
Our college education system is fucked because the whole world's trying to get into it. Like, we're competing with the whole world for fucking college education because, like, Harvard and Yale and Princeton and all these places, they're filled with who? Asian, right? These freshly minted fucking Chinese millionaires kids, right? Yeah. They can pay whatever the fuck they want for college. That's why the price goes up, because everybody's competing for them same fucking spots.
Yeah.
No, it just goes up because we allow people to get massive amounts of debt, and they know that they can do that. The same with housing. Easier and easier to get the debt. A lot of these college students know that they'll never pay that off. They have no plans to actually pay it off. And they just keep letting you acquire more debt to do so. If we didn't let the debt control everything, it wouldn't be like that. But colleges know that they can bump up those prices.
Well, it's backed federally, right? That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these fucking loans for colleges are backed by the fucking Fed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem. It's the fact that, like, the kids aren't really on the hook for it. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like, the Fed actually, like, there's 2 things that you can't bankruptcy off your credit report, right? It's child support and motherfucking college loans, right? These are the things that the feds do to back up, to stand here and securitize a loan so that they don't have to stand here and actually have any like equity or fucking assets in order to get them. That's the problem. It's all about logistics. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get into these fucking things, it's literally not a giant conspiracy theory. Like, you know what I mean? To fucking stand here and, you know, like fucking make people dumber or fucking sit here and like jack these up on purpose. It's literally the fact that like they're going, hey, look, we need an educated populace so we can produce, you know what I mean, the best shit in the world, right? But, you know what I mean, like most of these motherfuckers can't afford it. And we're not going to stand here and do it with, you know what I'm saying, the federal government, because the federal government doesn't know how to haggle. And they know that they're competing against Chinese motherfuckers and, you know what I mean, Africans and Indians. And you have to have them come into your country because we're not having enough fucking kids, right? And so therefore, like, oh, you're going to end up standing here having to have your fucking prices jacked up to where they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the whole thing just loops right back around. The thing is that all this shit is in fact interconnected, but you know, maybe you're right in saying in that it isn't this giant conspiracy theory to just unleash everything. Like there's no real malicious intent here. What it really is it's just people trying desperately to interconnect this stuff so it can support itself. It's a dead animal that's barely surviving, and it's less malicious intent and more nobody really understands I guess what I'm trying to say is it's like the Team Fortress 2 source code. At this point, the source code is so...
Keep talking, right?
The source code for Team Fortress 2 is so convoluted and spaghettified that nobody can understand it. Not even the original programmers can understand the source code behind Team Fortress 2 anymore. And I really think that's where the fucking system is as of right now. Yes, it's all interconnected, and so you kind of got the meme of the conspiracy guy, you know, listing everything left, right, center, down, and saying it's all connected. It's all a giant conspiracy. Whereas I think it's I can't remember the fucking principles. I keep getting mixed up.
Well, like all right. So here's how you think about it, right? It's like a college education is like a Ferrari, okay?
Right.
Basically, it's something that every rich person in the world wants them or their fucking kids to have.
Yeah.
Right. And so therefore they can charge whatever price they fucking want. You know what I'm saying? So you know, because they know that the rich motherfucker will pay it because it's exclusive.
Yeah.
That's the mentality.
And that's understandable. And it's like we've sold the dream of college, basically saying that this is what you do, like this is the plan you grow up and do, like back in the 50s. You go to school, graduate high school, go to college, do your 4 years, get yourself a degree, you get out, you go get a good job, you pay everything off back, you get married, you get a house, you get a car, you have you have like 2.5 kids with a white picket fence and a dog, and it's like that's the dream they've sold you. But it's like it's become so convoluted and overblown because everybody tried to pile in on it that they crashed the market, and now everybody's requiring a fucking 4-year bachelor's degree for flipping burgers at McDonald's now. And it's like, how did this happen?
Well,
and
again, it's the basic logistics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's economics 101.
It's not even that. It's just there's like it's everybody thinks there might be some kind of conspiracy to really dumb people down when really it's just Occam's razor. Anything
crazy Kemi, if you want to hop in, Brad, like fucking grab the joint. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. We good. Yeah. Right? So like the mentality is this, like, when you're standing here and you have 60% of your population has something and you only really need to have like 20% of your population have something, you know what I mean? Like that's a problem, right? Because like basically you flooded the market with something and now they're kind of goddamn worthless for certain things. Edward, nigga, nobody wants to see you fucking goddamn weirdo fucking.
I hit the wrong button. Calm down, Pinoy. I'm on mobile, okay? I'm not high speed and high tech like all you niggas.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where I am in school for right now. I've already got my A+ certification. It's like any tech job you go in there requires that one. But to really be, successful, I got to aim for like the stuff that, like, there's a couple certifications out there. I got to hunt them down. But like only 12 people in the world have those certifications. I should hunt that down and become the 13th. That might be fun to do.
Yo, hold up. Yo, Crazy Kemi, what up?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
What's up, Kim?
Just hopping in for a little bit.
Got you. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know, got an opinion on this?
I've just been more listening, just trying to collect my thoughts and whatnot.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'll be real. Like, I mean, I like the idea of, you know what I'm saying, like some crazy, you know, like, all right, so the mentality of the idea that like all this shit is part of a master plan, right? It's almost a religious statement. It's like the fact that like people want to have order and shit. And I think that's really what all that shit gets down to, is that you want to have an individual have some type of control over this rather than it all being, you know what I mean, kind of random. Because if it is random, then we fucked up somewhere and we have to be responsible for it. And nobody has a solution for an answer of how to fix it.
Yeah, I would actually go say further in that really, yeah, it's a giant tangled mess of wires, and nobody really nobody understands, you know, it is connected, but nobody understands how or why, and they're looking for somebody to blame. But there is no one to really blame because all those people that were there are just gone.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Ed. You're not wrong.
Coming in with women. I think he wanted to have his rant there.
You're not wrong there, buddy. You know, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, nigga. Do you think?
Oh, there's not really much of a rant. It's just fucking reality. Like, how the fuck they expect people to build up if you're just an average fucking Joe? If you have people take a fourth of your income, then some other government agency takes another fourth of your income, and they leave you with half if you're fucking lucky. If you're just an average fucking Joe.
Yeah, you know, that's just like, yo, my local city, Harrisburg, they stood here and put in a community fucking officer, right? You know what I mean, to help relations between the police and the goddamn citizens, right? You know what I mean, it's like find the root causes of why like, crime is so high. And like, you know what I mean, like everybody in the city immediately went, yeah, child support.
I don't know, Tom. I'm gonna put this out there then, because you and me are some real dudes. I might go to jail tonight. And that's the case. Make fun of me later.
Well, you probably, man, listen, you know, I'll be honest. Every time I tell you not to do something, you do it anyway. So enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
What you gonna do if you have a husband, your ex, come over and try to beat your ass? You fucking fight. I might kill a nigga tonight.
Yo, I wish. God, nigga, like, yo, do you want to? I'm like a lion in a zoo. I'm just waiting for that one motherfucking time that a retard hops the fence. You know what I'm
I get what you mean. Like, yeah, I get what you mean. I'm to the point. Like, I don't want trouble, but if like someone's gonna threaten me because I give them money every week and support their fucking lifestyle while I have nothing, please send someone. Test me. Make me hot.
Every real motherfucker in the world is just waiting for that one opportunity to let niggas know they ain't bullshitting. Legit.
They're just waiting for that one time where the line is crossed and they can really go to town on them. I'm kind of just sitting there myself with that. But Ed, at least let them get a few hits in so you have some defensive wounds for court.
No.
This nigga's jumping in my DMs, threat me. I was like, you know where I'm at. You know exactly where I'm at.
Like, yo, I am Superman punching that nigga the moment he comes near me. Like, yo, legit. Like, I might let him get close enough to uppercut him. Like real shit.
And like, don't get me wrong. I don't want this shit, but dude, I pay for your house. I pay for your car. I pay for your utilities. Don't fuck with me. You're a grown ass man. You live off my child support. Do not fuck with me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can see that. If another dude is living off the stuff you make, I can see where you'd be justified. I wouldn't want that.
Well, like, you know, like I just, you know, I had the same problem with my youngest son's baby's mom. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. You know what I'm saying? She got remarried. You know what I mean? The dude popped off of the mouth at me. You know what I mean? I pulled out the fucking 12 gauge and I told him, I said, I'll stick this motherfucker in the back of your goddamn throat and break your teeth and lift the motherfucking top half of your head off. Keep fucking playing with me, son. Legit. And that nigga legitimately went in the house and hid and cowered like a little fucking bitch. Like, like, yo, like business. How I deal with my fucking kids' mothers, how I deal with my kids' mother. Like, real talk. Like, yo, fuck the garbage. Everybody is just waiting for that one opportunity to let motherfuckers know they ain't bullshitting. Like, yo, because I ain't playing fucking games with a motherfucker. Real shit. Like, yo, let one of these dumb motherfuckers try me out. I swear to almighty fucking Christ. You're going to be laying on the deck looking at the sky with my motherfucking shoe on your motherfucking neck. Keep playing. Sorry, Ed. You keep, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm just hyping you up.
No,
right
I'm
now.
getting distracted. She's doing this shit right now, and I shouldn't fucking play in this fucking game because I'm better than this. I'm fucking smarter than this.
No, you're not. And it's okay. You're not. It's all right. None of us are in the end of the day. Like, at some point, you have to pull that savage out and rip a nigga's arms off and beat him to death with them. Like, I just.
Here's the thing. He's jumped in my DMs before, and I told him, like, do you know where I'm at? You know where I live? This could be easily settled. This is just a woman playing fucking bullshit right now, fucking pulling my strings.
Nah. Like, I legit tell him, like, yo, look here, man. You can come over here, you know what I'm saying? And I'll make you eat so many of your teeth, you'll chew your own fucking asshole for fucking when you take a shit tonight. You know what I mean? Real talk. You know what I mean? Like, you want to talk as fucking men, we can do this. You know what I mean? But I'd much rather do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, with you laying on the ground looking up at me, begging for your motherfucking life. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. Like, yo, I wish a motherfucker would. Like, yo, nobody ever does no more. Fucking bitch ass motherfucker.
Tom's still hyped up after being served obtrusive Kraft. He's still hyped up.
Yo, aggravated me so fucking much. Legit. After I'm out here with a fucking sledgehammer breaking apart concrete in the backyard to feed me goddamn fucking Kraft macaroni and cheese made out of fucking Velveeta shells. Nigga.
Velveeta, why? Why?
Like, yo.
Lord, I remember when I was a lot younger, I used to like Velveeta a lot, and I was just like, I don't even bother with it these days when I can make real macaroni and cheese myself.
Like, yo, you're gonna make me feel bad about not taking your kid motherfucking fishing with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. Like, bro, like,
it's not your job to be that kid's dad.
Yo, number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's not even my job to be his uncle. I don't even know the little nigga's name, and you want me to take him fishing. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I called the kid by the wrong name earlier that day because I don't know what the fucking kid's name is. Like, I'm not that close to these people. Like, why would you ask me to take your, like, why would you fucking stand here, you know what I mean, and go, oh, man, I want to come fishing with you. Like, why? Well,
because from a little kid's perspective, you can't blame him because he doesn't have a fucking father figure, obviously. But from the mother's perspective, you can blame her in several fucking ways.
Yo, this bitch had 3 kids, and there was not one shoe between 6 of their feet.
See, that drives me fucking nuts. And I'll tell you what drives me nuts, dude. Peter, we talk personally. They cut the finances, not the fucking. They keep the shit 100. We both work. We both pay our shit. We both try to do what we can do.
Yeah.
Well, explain to me how I pay $300 a fucking week, but I'm still have to buy my kids everything they fucking need to the point where I don't have your basic fucking necessities in goddamn life.
What are they doing with that 300? Isn't that 300 explicitly for that purpose to make sure they
live off it?
But it's doing. Yo, here's what it's on. It's going back to pay back that bitch's welfare. That's what the fuck it does. Legit.
I don't get it.
Yo, the state takes that money. She didn't even get it. 100%. That's what the fuck happens. That's why he has to buy his kids all that shit. Is because basically he's paying back what the state decided to give her to subsidize that bitch, motherfucking having all these goddamn kids and living on a motherfucking own and shit. Because like they'd much rather have the government be your fucking dad and your fucking husband than the goddamn fucking dude who she actually had the fucking kids with. That's what the fuck it is. That's the mentality, and that's why shit's so fucked up in this country.
Great. Now I'm not even more.
They kick out the fucking father.
Like,
they strip him all authority. They take all authority away from him.
Wait. What'd she say?
Like, I'm just saying, this kind of stuff is just heartbreaking. Like, man, I don't get it. I don't get that kind of mindset.
Well, like, it's really easy. It's really easy. Like, females want three things. You know what I'm saying? Like, security, dick, and motherfucking, fucking financial resources, right? That's what females want, right? And so, therefore, rather than rely on a dude who eventually is going to get old or lose his job, whatever the case is, which is what happened over the past, 40 years, which is why we ended up in a situation of where we are. They decided to make the fucking government the dad because the government is motherfucking, like, stable, unlike the dudes, because they keep shipping our fucking jobs off and fucking automating us out of goddamn fucking commission. That's what's going on. It's a basic premise, and females outvote dudes by 10 to 20 million votes a fucking election. That's how we are. We live in a matriarchy, and motherfuckers have no idea about it.
Yeah, we do, and like, people like pretend we fucking don't. Because I'm just gonna say it, and actually, this is breaking my fucking heart right now because I want to go get my daughter right now. It's apparently how bad it is, but the thing is, probably not bad. She's a 14-year-old girl, and my ex just can't handle a teenager.
No. Oh, Lord. At that age where they really need daddy's belt.
No, they don't even need that. They just need you to
really
fucking be there.
Father figures, though. Then
most kids don't even act like that with their fucking dads because they know it's not going to fly.
Well, let me explain something to you, right? Because I'm saying, like, my baby's mom's always has a hard time, even with my fucking 2 and 4-year-old, right? It's really simple. Women don't know how to lead, right?
They don't.
Like, legitimately, when I have my kids like 3 days of the shot, every weekend. Usually I have this weekend off because, like, they were sick and I got a new baby. I don't want them fucking getting sick. And I don't need to get sick because I got to keep working to pay this fucking child support.
That was my point. That's the point I'm making right now.
So here's the mentality, right? Here's the mentality, right? When I have my kids, the TV never goes on. They don't have tablets. They don't have phones. They don't have laptops, no computers. The TV doesn't go on.
So they're basically raised like you're raised.
Yeah. And like, legitimately, I take them outside and, we dig holes and we fucking go fishing and we burn things. And, we cut the grass and we fucking do shit together all week. And I take them to the fucking park. We fucking go and play fucking games. They help me fucking cook. I lead them. I do shit with them. She just sits on her fucking ass and lets them go play in the fucking living room. To the point where, like, I had to fucking stop her because, like, this bitch started just putting up a motherfucking baby gate in between the fucking living room and where the fuck she sits at and fucking sits on the goddamn computer and plays video games all fucking day long. Because, like, legitimately, the kids would just sit there and cry at the fucking baby gate because they couldn't fucking be anywhere near their fucking mom because their mom didn't want to bother with them.
That is sad. Kids kind of need that kind of closure, that kind of reassurance that there is somebody right there to take care of them. Like, that's an instinct they have until they're old enough that their own need to be independent actually kicks in. Because
this is what women do when you give them the look, legitimately, this female today sat there and put her fucking 8-month-old in the goddamn playpen I have in the living room for my kid to be able to take naps in and shit. She put that motherfucker in there and just left them.
They do that. Oh, I hate to say it, but they fucking do that. Ad hoc, you're a smart guy. I've talked to you before. I've heard you read. I've heard you cover some things that are philosophical.
Yeah.
Okay, then answer this very, very simple question in this field. What happens if you have all the responsibility but no authority? What are you?
All the responsibility and none of the authority. Hold on, I got to parse this for a minute because it sounds like you're trying to describe somebody. If they have responsibility, they should have the authority, but if they...
Think in a feudal sense. Those working in the fields had complete responsibility for the fields, but they have no authority over the fields. They are basically serfs. You are basically a slave in that situation. And the way the modern civilization works in the West...
That's what I was about to say, too.
All men in our situations, or penal situations, we have all the responsibility without authority. Well, women have all the authority without responsibility and the accountability of children.
Yeah, I knew that's where you're going. I had to parse that for a moment there because it really sounded kind of off. I think that's where you were necessarily trying to get me to see it. Is like the responsibility without authority. That, to me, even though I'm single and I have no kids and I'm sitting here parsing, I'm like, responsibility with no authority. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Shouldn't the man of the house have both?
No, because the man has been replaced by government agencies. The man has been replaced by the status quo.
Check it out. Here's how
why I had
deep
issue parsing that.
Here's how deep it's gotten. If you literally take away a female's motherfucking bank card or checking account, right, legitimately is considered financial abuse.
Yes. Actually, it's actually got even further. Domestic violence now is you simply saying no to a woman.
Wow.
Well, like legit. If you tell a female like no, you know what I'm saying, you can't go fuck the neighbor. That's you're being you're abusive, right? Yeah, legally.
That's stupid.
Or no, I don't have the money, or we don't have the money to buy this ridiculously expensive thing that we don't fucking need.
Welcome to the matriarchy. I'm trying to tell y'all, motherfuckers, this is a goddamn matriarchy. This is
like,
not a democracy.
You kind of see it in some aspects, and because I just graduated college, and I saw something more social.
News. My daughter hasn't been to school, and they've been in school for a fucking week.
Yeah, I just graduated last May.
Damn.
Chemical engineering.
Well, congratulations then. You made it out.
Yes.
Yo, it's a matriarchy. And I mean, legitimately, like, yo, fucking, like, yo, this bitch, yo, here's the thing. So check this out. Women have been in charge for years. It's just people have no idea about it, right? Like, they outvote dudes by like fucking at least 10 million votes every election. Right? So even if there's dudes running the government, they're living hostages. And most of the government is comprised of motherfucking females and shit.
Because they have to play onto the voter base. And there's more women voting than men. That's the voter base. And I hate to say this, and there's exceptions to the rule, blah, 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 not generalization, blah, 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 blah. Women are hive-minded. Their in-group bias with other women is so much higher than any sympathy or empathy they can have for another man. It's just the fucking truth.
Yeah, how do you think we ended up in a 20-year war in Afghanistan and Iraq and shit? And like, yo, nobody voted to fucking bring the troops home. Yo, they didn't care about the dudes who were dying in the motherfucking sand. They don't give a fuck.
It actually reminds me that there's a guy named Seamus who does Freedom Tunes, if y'all saw that. And he actually just posted like a very edgy PSA where like it's the American Taliban. And they have like a Taliban woman with wearing a hijab talking about how it's important
bad Western
that those
women have it. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, not talking about how bad Western women have it. It's basically trying to appeal to her own country women to continue to be oppressed by an actual patriarchy so Western women can continue to use them as a talking point.
It's called oppression porn. At least I call it oppression porn.
Yeah.
You have a lot of white chicks here, and fuck it, I'll break it down to be very stereotypical. Fuck it. You have a lot of white chicks here that desire to be oppressed, that has something to bitch about. So they compare themselves to every other woman in every other culture, even though they never go through those pages and really don't fucking care, to apply in themselves. That's why in that part in that cartoon where you had that chick on her phone, like, oh my god, that is so me.
Yes.
This is just like
Hashtag
the
got
Handmaid's
me.
Tale. This is so me. It's sickening. It's like I have it better than a dude in India that lives in a fucking trash can. They have it better than the majority of the people on the face of this fucking planet, but they're so selfish and pig by it they can't see it.
Yo, look, here's how do you control human behavior, right? It's really simple. I mean, like, you take away the goddamn fucking safety net. If you took away like all the bullshit that allows individuals to just do whatever they want, like, they behave themselves, but they don't. I mean, that's kind of the mentality.
That really disturbs me that we put those safety nets there for a purpose. Just, I may not have, been a hood, I may not have been as trash or tough as either of you guys, but even still growing up, I had integrity pounded into me, which for me, the definition of it is doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. Even though we have all these safety nets up and around me, and yeah, I have been caught and had to use the safety net before, back when I was homeless and unemployed. My priority was not to live like that for the rest of my life. My priority was to claw my way out of that goddamn pit, which I did succeed at. It's like I didn't want to rely on that safety net forever.
Like, I've been raised the same way myself. I'd be ashamed if I just let myself live like that.
Man, listen, like, here's the problem. Like, once you get to the point of where you just see everybody around you like doing whatever the fuck they want to do, eventually you get the mentality in your head. You're like, nobody's being responsible. Like, yo, fuck this. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want and enjoy myself. Yo, the hell with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality. Like, yo, eventually you're gonna fucking stand here and just take that mental and go, why am I fucking trying? And no one else is. Like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
in my case, I'm trying because, like, if I don't work, I don't pay support, and then they put me in prison.
Yeah, that's my mentality too. I feel where you are. I'm on the same shit with that.
I just feel like I've got nothing right now. I sat down and I had a talk with somebody that I should have had over a decade ago. And ever since, I've just been depressed and empty because it feels like I literally have nothing left in my life anymore. Even when I first came into this world, you know, I still had friends, I had family, you know, I had directions to go. And I don't even have any of that anymore. And I'm just sitting here at the crossroads watching the world crumble. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I do and where do I go next? And I've got nobody to my left or right trying to help me out with this.
Well, I'm here, nigga.
I know. It's just when I'm in that depression pit, I can't really see beyond my own face.
I feel where you are. You know, I mean, like, you know, it's lonely, you know what I'm saying? Being that type of dude who's, you know what I mean, like fucking out here doing what he's doing. Like, I'll be honest, everybody else I kind of left behind me because I had to make money, because if I don't make enough money to outlast the motherfucking bullshit, then I'll get caught in the trap. You know, that's kind of the mental. I got to be a lion, you know what I mean, to avoid the fucking traps and shit. And that's kind of the mentality as far as things are really concerned. So I got you. I understand, like, you know, but I got my kids. You know what I mean? That's kind of what drives me to fuck forward. It's my fucking babies.
Yeah. I don't even have that. And that's just why I feel so empty. I got nothing.
I hear where you are. You know what I mean? I do. I hear exactly where you are. You know what I mean? And like, yo, life is for the living. You know what I mean? The end of the day. So the mentality is this. Why are we trying anymore? Like, what is the purpose of it? Like, I mean, like me and Ed, like, yo, we got our fucking debts that we had to pay or else to put us in jail. But I mean, other than that, I mean, really, why are we, you know what I mean, like fucking, how do I put this? Why are we still living by their rules? Like, why are we still living with like all this integrity bullshit? Because nobody else is.
Because it's forced into us every day of our being lives. And unfortunately for guys like you and Pinoy, we're the ones who carry this goddamn society.
No. I'm saying, like, yo, why is it that, like, you know, like we're still living with integrity? Me and you don't give a fuck. We do whatever the fuck we want. You know, legit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you have bitches pissing on your fucking cell phone charger and shit after you get them, pounding them out and throwing them inside of a kennel. You know what I mean?
You do have a point.
Yeah, like we do whatever the fuck we want to do. Like, we don't fucking care. Like, yo, fuck all that integrity bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I pay my bills because, like, you know, like I don't want to lose my house. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose my fucking roof over my head or my fucking cars because I enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like,
But we also work against a system that fucking wants us to do that.
Well, we have. Well, you know, look, I don't have a problem paying for like a roof over my head, right? But on the same point, you know what I mean? Like, I'm most definitely saving up to buy a boat and a 30-06 and a trailer and, you know what I'm saying, like some shit for me. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's about me. Because I don't fucking care, you know what I'm saying, about, like, you know, all this integrity nonsense. I'm going to enjoy my fucking life. Like, yo, fuck the garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I'm just kind of at that point in my life right now, trying to figure out again what necessarily I want, because I had that dream myself of just, you know, of the 2.5 kids, wife, house, white picket fence, good car, and all that fun stuff, and that's just gone now. And I think that's why I feel so depressed. Is it just kind of finally hit me that's just nothing more than a pipe dream at this point.
No. Like, here's the problem. Right? See, your standards are too high. Right? What you have to do is you have to accept a bitch who will piss on your cell phone charger. Right?
I'm not keeping that bitch.
I don't think
I'm not keeping that bitch. I am not keeping that bitch.
Yo, look, man.
I don't think my standards are that high.
She comes home to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's now your cat. If you feed a cat one time and it just keeps showing up at your door, that's your cat now.
Not keeping her.
It's yours. You don't really like that witchy chick because you keep fucking other broads. You know what I mean? Just keep the Joan that wants.
God damn it! You're right and you're not right at the same time. But I can't argue against it. Fuck you, Penoid.
I know the mental. I got it, bro. I can feel it in my bones too. I know the mental.
She bores me sexually.
I know you want a female, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna do all those, you know what I mean, like, like not even so much bananas things, but more along the lines, like is gonna act like, you know what I mean, like you fucking murdering her with her fucking with your penis and shit. Like I know the mentality.
Just pretend this is a knife, bitch, and scream.
I don't know. I think there might be a chick that does get off on that kind of dirty talk.
Dude, there's plenty of them that do.
There's plenty of
them. I wouldn't know. No one's looked my direction and probably won't.
At Hawkman, I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry if I'm going to... No, I'm not sorry if I offend you crazy.
Don't fucking worry about it.
Women are more degenerate than men in every fucking way.
I am not
noticed
surprised.
some aspects, and then some aspects it's like, I know for myself, I'm so far away from that crap because I've never wanted to do it myself. I know I'm a total exception with all this stuff.
You haven't had the chance, Kemi, to really explore it, and that's the whole thing of the Victorian era, is because there was the expectations that women did not and should not enjoy that stuff. That's the fallacy of the Victorian era.
Let me keep this. Let me keep this ad hoc full of shit.
I think a lot of myself religious is because I'm religious.
Well,
no, look, here's the deal. You're gonna meet a dude, all right, and that dude is gonna, you know what I'm saying, like, he's gonna like put you on a coat hanger on the back of a door, you know what I'm saying? And then he's gonna chain your hands to the motherfucking like doorknob and shit. You know,
and you would like it. That's the thing too, and you would like it. You're gonna
find out how much you enjoy it, and then your whole brain's gonna go, I don't know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? That's the issue, right? You're gonna find out a lot of things about yourself as you get older that you might not like. Right, morally, but like mentally, it's gonna feel good, and it's fucking terrible, and that's just how that works.
That's what it
is. And like Crazy Kim, you're thinking Pinoy sounds full of shit, but like I used to be a good Christian boy. Not believable now, but I used to be. And it just took one psycho goth chick, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I can, I may still be a virgin, kind of outing myself here, but I have consumed enough porn that the question is no longer what fetishes do I have? The question is now, what fetishes do I not have?
No, actually, the biggest question you asked is what you convince her to do.
Yeah, that's question number 3.
Well, like I used to be a good person, right? At one point, I was a good dude, but I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit ended a long time ago. Like I stopped being a fucking good person because just nobody. I'm handing out a wrench to Frog Mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, brother. You know what I'm saying? Nice to see you out here. Got to make sure you hand out wrenches to everybody in the chat, But you have to remember, everybody, we used to be much better people than we were today, right? But the world will corrupt you and turn you into a piece of garbage, and that's okay, right? Because you have to be that to survive anymore. Like it just is what it is. Like you remember how like you see a homeless person on the street and you feel bad about them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we still all kind of feel bad in the back of our heads. But most of us, like if they were lying there dying, coughing up blood,
we would step right over them.
Yeah, we would step right over them. And some of us might even try to buy them a motherfucking another drink to see how far they'll go. Right? Because it's just that's what the world turns you into. It just is what it is. It's horrible, but
it's like. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Pino. Go ahead.
I remember we used to have bum fights, right? You know what I'm saying? Yep. When I was in my 20s and shit, and we'd put a piece of crack rock between two homeless people and watch them rip each other apart for it and bet on them to see which one would win. Right?
That's true. That motherfucker made a lot of money.
The world is terrible. It's a terrible place. Do you know how much money I made last year when the economy was just tanking and everybody was dying? I made so much money. It is what it is. That's
why I changed all my 401k options to profit of other people's misery, because that's what makes money. It's the truth. It's the fucking truth.
Yeah, buy beer, alcohol.
Yeah.
It's tragic, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? You can still have your little things that remind you that you're a human being. But, just understand that nobody else really cares. It's just the world's a terrible, horrible place full of shitty people. You know what I'm saying? Who would probably motherfucking, like, if you were drowned, then they would give you a cup of water.
It's unfortunate fucking truth. And I hate to play the pessimist card because I've been trying to change my mentality, but that is the fucking truth.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm probably so damn depressed that I'm even starting to get suicidal this weekend. Won't do it, no balls.
Ad hoc, get a fat chick. You know what I'm saying?
Get a fat chick.
He's not
against
lying. He's not lying. He's not lying. And I know you're coming from, man. Without going in detail, because we're on stream and this is live right now.
Yeah.
Take advice from me. You don't want to like leak everything you have in your IRL on stream. Makes you look bad.
I know. I am that deep into it.
But get you a fat chick and never brag about her and just fucking let her do her thing. She'll feed you. She'll go down on you in a fucking heartbeat, and she'll try.
Yo, man, look,
not just lick the tip, full on try.
Like, yo, don't worry about getting the money to get bitches. You sit you a fat slut that cooks and does dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit.
That even fucking rhymed. That's how fucking true it is.
Yo, it's an Eminem line. That
was poetic, Peter. That was fucking poetic.
Right. Like, real shit.
Yeah, the question then is, where do I got to go to start looking?
Anywhere, dude. Facebook. Fat bitches are all on Facebook. This fine for the one girl that's taking shots from up on the angle above her face. And there you go.
Crazy Chem. Like, yo, if you want a really good life, real shit. Yo, like right now, try to find you a 40-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Yo, wife him down. You know what I mean? Make that motherfucker your husband and shit. You know what I mean? And make sure you get put in the will. You know what I mean? So like in 20 or 30 years when he's sick and he dies, you know what I mean? You get all that money. Plus on top of that, the stability of the fact that you know he's not going to fuck around on you because he's 40 something and you're in your 20s. Legit. That's how the fuck you do it. Yo, that's the mentality that motherfuckers are completely missing with this. It's like, yo, you need to have that motherfucking mentality of like, yo, success as a young individual. Ad hoc, get a fat bitch. You know what I mean? Get you a chick legitimately, like, and when she puts on a pair of leggings, it looks like two raccoons are wrestling in a motherfucking garbage bag. Yo. Like, when she puts on a pair of sneakers, it looks like, you know what I'm saying? It's like some fucking pancake batter trying to escape the sides. When she backs that thing up on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you get fucking bounced across the room. Like, yo, legit.
No.
Just have her lay down on the floor and I have my own personal bouncy castle.
We're all laughing about this, but Pinoy's got a point. Okay, here's the thing. The point he's trying to make, Ad Hoc.
Yeah.
Is, okay, most women have tons of fucking options. There's always dudes sniffing around. But the difference between girl who doesn't have options is that girl will help build you up instead of drain you. There's a big difference between those two. I can say this as an older, wiser guy now. God damn it, Pinoy, look at the effect you're having on me. As an older, wiser guy now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, yo, here's the mentality, right? This is the mental. So, like, yo, you want to be the boxer in the ring, and she needs to be a coach. You know what I mean? You need to find a bitch who's cool with being a coach. You know what I mean? Like, yo, who's there? Like, you know, hey, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you could talk to her a little bit about your shit, so guide you a little, get a bitch who's a little older than you. You know what I'm saying? Has some wisdom, some age, has a personality, right? Because chicks in their like 20s don't have any personality whatsoever. Like, everything they know is pop culture. You know what I mean? And nonsense, garbage they heard in school. You know what I mean?
They steal your personality in your hoodies and then say you're toxic.
Like, Jesus Christ, Tom, you're pulling up a memory from when I was 19 and I was in class for it, and I went with my my sergeants to the fucking VW bar. A fucking cougar actually hit on me, believe it or not.
Yo, look, legitimately today, every time this female opened her mouth, I wanted to stab myself in the forehead. Like, yo, it was tragic. This bitch was so fucking dumb. Like, I swear to God, I probably could have told her it was chilly outside and she would have ran outside with a spoon and a bowl. Like, she was fucking dumber than a bag of hammers. It was just...
Family member or friend of your girl?
Cousin's girlfriend who has 3 kids to him, and he was smart and went out for cigs and never came back.
Yeah, definitely like cut those ties the best you can. And I hate to say it that way, but that'd be nothing but drama and bullshit to your door.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. My female doesn't have any friends. You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't have any like friends who will come the whole way the fuck out here to check us out because I'm way out in the sticks at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But like as you tell dudes not to collect strays, women will collect strays. They will have strays around to make them feel better.
I get what you're saying, right? But I'll be honest with you. Like this female is just.
Hey guys, I'm gonna hop off. My daughter's calling me, and I got shit. So later.
Do your thing. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, like I don't know what to say, right, about just garbage fucking white women. Like I don't know. Like we needed American Sharia. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Start fucking wrapping bitches in beach towels and duct taping motherfucking like sandwiches to them. Like that should be what we were doing right now. That's what
yeah. I mean. That just kind of triggers that whole dislike in me mention anything about it. Just because that's my thing with Islam is that I feel like it just cannot be fundamentally trusted. But there are, the mentality there is we do.
What?
I don't want to admit it, but implementing some of that stuff is direly needed in the United States. I don't want to admit it because, again, it's inherent. I dislike it because it's inherently untrustworthy. But in the same vein, it's just the practices that are in there. Yeah, we could
it's social cohesion, right? It's cultural cohesion, and we don't have any of that in our country at all anymore.
I know. It's just
I've encountered people who would rather be living under China's bullcrap or living under Sharia law than under this utter degeneracy that we have now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fucking spatting with the goddamn fucking CCP guy on the rhetoric server right there. He's just spouting off his constant Chinese superiority CCP propaganda. I'm sitting there going, how cute is he? I really want a war game against a thing in there, but at the same time, he's not necessarily wrong. But I don't want to admit that our enemies have a point, but I kind of got no choice but to, eat the crow and put my foot in my mouth and say, yeah, they got a point.
Here's the one that'll fuck you up, right? Once you realize that you went to war against a country that was actually just fighting not to become us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, at the time I was on the street and goddamn desperate. That's part of the reason why one of the real reasons why I joined the U.S. Army is I literally got left behind and just left on the road.
How many of our boys died in the desert over there, right? Fighting against people who just wanted not to have to go through what we are at the moment.
Too fucking many. Too many. We had a target. They didn't send in the military like the military should have been in and at this point, I would have been happy to have joined the Army just to fucking patrol the goddamn border on Texas. If that is all I had done for 20 years, I would much rather have done that.
I feel you, right? I feel you.
You probably got a bunch of people there be telling me, just fucking join the Border Patrol. I seriously doubt the Border Patrol would take me at this point.
Right. I mean, but like the mentality of the fact that when you sit here and look at American patriotism, what it's really doing in the end of the day is it's standing here protecting this fucking gynocracy that really just wants to destroy your family and culture, and it's going to rob you of any opportunity to have a future.
And it depresses and pisses me off because we have to.
They do it for freaking money too.
I don't even. It's
like the defense industry got freaking bloated as crap whenever we spent all this time in the Middle East, and and you have some companies that only still exist just because they have defense. Like Boeing would be out of business by now if it weren't for the defense contracts.
It's a holdover from the Cold War. Before then, we had this rich history of patriotism being a damn good thing.
No.
And then this.
No, we didn't.
No, we do.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
We
didn't. We didn't.
We really did.
We really didn't.
But it's just.
I mean, like, yo, look.
Me just
like,
looking back on the history.
Nate, name one time patriotism was a good thing. Name it. Name a time that backing this entire country at once was a good thing. One time.
Well, when we founded in the first place, that
wasn't backing this whole country. That was backing your own state's freedom. Keep trying. I'm waiting, my brother. Tell me one time that America was on the right side of anything. Yo, it's fucking tragic because when you stand here and you start thinking about it today, right? Like a World War I, fuck that have to do with us. World War II, the fuck that have to do with us. Like, yo, none of this was worth. Like, I can understand like the war against Japan because like they hit us at Pearl Harbor, but real shit, if we hadn't been over there fucking around, right?
We weren't really over there fucking around.
No,
I will never not find this funny. The one person in Congress at the time who did not vote yes for going to war was a woman. I will never not find that funny.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've been looking back on this, and there's this one video that actually explains about, Woodrow Wilson being a complete and total fuck up. And the fact is that if we had gone into World War I earlier, we actually could have prevented Russia from embracing communism, and we wouldn't be having the problem we're having now with it.
Well, no. Like, yo, legitimately, like, yo, real shit. We should have finished off the fucking Soviet Union fucking after World War II, but we didn't have the nut sacks to do so.
Yeah, and that's part of it.
Yeah, it was General Patton that said we fought the wrong enemy.
Yo, before fucking the what the hell is this? Oh, before fucking the nuclear proliferation, right? Before everybody had fucking 8,000 fucking nuclear warheads pointed at everybody, we could have cleaned up the Soviet Union, stopped all that bullshit, and then never had the nuclear age become what the fuck it is today. Right? But instead, you know what I'm saying? We fought like a fucking 60-year goddamn Cold War against a fucking country, who was basically a U.S. fucking satellite any goddamn way. Right? And fucking had nukes pointed at everybody's fucking heads for fucking 60 goddamn years and changed the way the entire dynamics of the entire fucking world worked. Like, yo, patriotism in the United States has always been bullshit. Always been garbage. Right? Legit. We were way better off before like fucking Lincoln even fucking stood here and united us as a goddamn country.
Well, I mean, that's
I'll be real. Like, yo, slavery was trash, right? As a whole, it was a garbage economic ideology that destroyed the fucking economies of the South. Even to this fucking day, they're fucking 80, 100 years behind everybody the fuck else.
Yeah, right? I can see that around me because I'm a Southerner.
Part of it is because industrialization kind of pulled us there, and agriculture kind of got somewhat left behind in total.
Well, no. The mentality was that because of the fact that slave labor was there, you didn't have the opportunity for like the fucking workers to be able to negotiate for fucking wages. They were always competing against slaves.
Yeah. Yeah,
there you go. That's how you destroy a fucking economy as a whole, right? So, like, yo, slavery was a dumb fucking ideology that the fucking Southern people, if anybody had any type of fucking brain, they would have fucking like spread that message among the fucking poorer population. Like, hey, look, stupid, you're not getting any fucking money and you're staying poor because of the fact that there's fucking slaves. These rich people are fucking you who own all these slaves. And they would have stood up and fought against it instead of having a whole entire fucking civil war. But nobody wanted to have that conversation.
Not to mention, like, even after slavery was abolished, sharecropping was basically enslaving all the poor people in the South.
Yeah,
not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. They destroyed the entire economy through fucking slavery. And like, yo, this entire mentality was fucking like, the United States has always been dumb. Always. Just always been fucking stupid as shit.
Nah, not entirely unsurprising. I mean, we are kind of a nation created by the people, and the people back then were dumb.
Right. Everything, the whole thing's fucking stupid. Legitimately. Like, the last decent war we fought was the Revolutionary War.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we had no business in World War I or World War II. Like there was no business of us
Yeah,
being
we
able to do
didn't.
that.
We didn't really.
Right? Yo, Vietnam was a war over fucking some stupid fucking communist country.
I agree. We had
Right?
we had no business doing what we did there. That was just basically a continuation of that one. We went in there to, as I explained in my Afghanistan video, we went in there to educate the natives, but we brought so many soldiers and guns and trucks and whatnot that the natives were like, you know what? Never mind. The U.S. has got this. Let's let them handle it.
No. Here's what happened in Vietnam, right? Legitimately. So the Vietnamese threw the French out because it was a French colony.
Yeah.
And then the U.S. went in and said, no, fuck that. You're not bringing in fucking communism because of the fact that like, you know, fuck, we need to make sure that like the Soviets don't gain a foothold in fucking Southern Asia outside of fucking China. And at that
Domino
point,
effect.
China hated motherfucking goddamn Russia. So, like it wasn't even like they were satellite, like, you know, they're not even like they were together as far as shit's really concerned as like allies and whatnot, right? And just like fucking Korea was the dumbest fucking shit ever too. Like there was no reason for that shit, right? Like none of the entirety of our fucking history is true or correct, and America is garbage, right? Your individual state and culture is great, right? Like, we have the largest river system in the entire fucking world. There's more navigable waterways inside of the United States fucking border than there is in the rest of the world combined, right? Like, that right there allows us to transport goods for 1/12 the cost of what that costs everybody else in the entire world, and allows us to trade among each other and make more money inside of these fucking borders than we would ever make fucking off the rest of the fucking world. Right. But instead we stand here and fucking use slave goddamn labor all over the goddamn fucking world and ship fucking goods the whole way across fucking massive amounts of fucking ocean in order to sit here and have fucking cheaper goods sold to fucking females so that we can continue to goddamn fucking keep this goddamn system moving forward and not show the fact that we fucking inflated the dollar to the point of where it's not worth anything. That's where the fuck we are.
We're like Weimar Germany.
We're not even like Weimar Germany, because at least in Weimar Germany, like fucking, they had every idea that the fucking Germans at minimum would stand here and go, maybe it's not a good thing that we have like fucking homosexuality and goddamn transsexuals on stage is a good thing, right? Maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't fucking continue to try and educate our fucking kids about like fucking sex and shit at fucking like 4 and 5 fucking years old and try to tell them it's okay to be fucking the opposite sex of what you were goddamn born. At least those motherfuckers had enough sense to go, you know what, we're going to elect the motherfucker who's going to sit here and really clean this shit the fuck up. And actually, he had the power to do so, unlike our fucking presidents and goddamn fucking senators who have zero power inside of the government.
Yep.
That's that's the mentality. It's all fucking dumb, the whole thing. But you know what, man?
And the fact we kind of demonize that so damn hard is why we can't even clean the rest of this up. Because then, as soon as somebody tries to do that, they get compared to him and torn down because it's an echo.
It's not even that. It's not even that. Here's the deal. So fucking these international democracies, they basically fucking feed on fascist governments, right? And a fascist government is nothing more than like somebody saying, hey, you know what, man, I'm gonna go hey, look, I'm gonna defend us against the international community and your bullshit and all the nonsense that you want to do to stand here and make us into being these fucking into us being these degenerate pieces of shit. Right. And fucking our government comes in and goes, no, the fuck you're not. And then they fucking just go through and crash everything. That's the problem, is legitimately, they don't want fucking some fucking stone-handed motherfucker to go, we are going to defend our people. They don't want that shit. They want, you know what I'm saying, a bullshit fake democracy, or even a goddamn strongman dictator, as long as he'll fucking work with the goddamn powers that be.
I mean, that's really what I really want to call patriotism in itself, Tom, is the ability to stand up and say, I will defend my people. And when I ask to sit here and say, who are your people? And I'm going to say Americans.
And then I'm going to go you're cool with, you know what I'm saying? All the terrible fucking shit that, your people want to do to you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm not, I'm not cool with that.
I feel you. That's my mentality, right? Like I don't like when I say my
No
people,
one's cool with that.
right? Like
No one's cool
when I
with
say
that.
when I say my people, I'm not talking about Californians, right? Like when I say my people, I'm not talking about like people in New York City or Boston or Providence or DC
I
or
get it.
Baltimore, right? That's the problem, right? It's like
No,
those
yeah,
aren't my people.
Yeah, I've kind of been disillusioned from that just when I got discharged, but
Right? I mean, are
because
those our people? They're not our people.
I would
They hate
definitely
us.
say not anymore. Now that I've seen what they are and what they truly want, I do want to kind of disown them from the identity of being Americans. It's like those are not
No,
Americans in
you're
any way,
not an
shape, or form.
American. You're not an American. Stop saying that.
Like
All right.
I have a friend.
Well, to be
who
honest,
said to me, like,
I'm not North Carolinian either because that's not where I was born. But I'm not Indianan either because I haven't lived there for so long either. It's like what am I then?
Choose one and own it. That's the mentality. Choose one of those and own it. You know what I'm saying? You are one of them, either North Carolinian or a fucking goddamn Indianan. One of the two, right? Because like, yo, you cannot be an American. Like, yo, being an American is the same thing as like a Vietnamese person saying they're Asian, right? Yo, it's fucking dumb. Like, you're not an American. This is a continent. It's not a fucking country. Stop saying that. You know what I mean? Literally, it's fucking, it's just, yo, it's a
is
giant
it
trick.
economics zone that the only thing in common is just using the same currency?
Legit. Right, you're using the same currency, and like, yo, the courts will fuck you if you try to like, stand up for your rights.
Wow, the EU really did rip us off.
Right, I mean, literally, like, yo, fuck, like, yo, you are not an American, bro. Like, stop saying that shit. It's dumb. Like, yo, it's the stupidest shit ever. It's like, because like, really, a Canadian can say they're an American, a Mexican can say they're American, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and like, yo, they be telling the truth because like, yo, they're from that continent.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you have to have like, yo, you have to have your own distinct shit. You know what I mean? Your own distinct culture. And if you don't, you're gonna keep getting lumped in with these fucking morons. You know what I mean? Who want to stand here and literally like, yo, cut the penis off your fucking son if you ever have one.
I know I'm scoffing. It's just.
Y'all not wrong.
I don't feel like I have it. I don't really feel like I have anything. I'm just empty.
Again, this is the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you don't have a culture because like they stole it from you. You know what I mean? Like they convinced you, you know what I'm saying? That like, yo, you could just go wherever you wanted to go and you could be whatever you wanted to be. Right. And then like you're standing here, 30 years old going, the fuck am I? Right?
Yeah, I mean? Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
I know. And like, yo, you should stand here and fucking really like have that conversation inside of your head and go, bro, I need to figure out what the fuck I am and like, yo, be that.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm depressed. I'm in the pit. I gotta figure out a way to claw out of it. I'm just really tired right now. I know I got to claw my way out eventually at some point, but right now it's just I'm tired.
I know, right? But again, like there's a reason why, like, like I chose you to go read all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's because like, yo, you actually have your own shit inside of your motherfucking brain that you're gonna figure out eventually. And I know like you have a perspective that you're going to figure out, eventually. Whether it be your family name or whether it be, like your fucking cultural location or your heritage, you have to fucking grab that, hold on to it, and don't let the fuck go. Build on it. Eat like that. Enjoy some shit, that like other Americans, who aren't your culture will, not enjoy as much as you would. Have some pride in yourself. Because like, oh, you are a really great fucking dude at the end of the day.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're a little, like, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, you're a little, little fucking sheltered to the world as far as things are concerned. You know what I mean? But like, you haven't had the shit kicked out of you yet properly. And it's probably not a bad thing.
Yeah, not wrong.
And like, you got to get that mentality, hold on to it, grip it, motherfucking, just stand here and like, own it and make it yours. Put it in your fucking pocket and walk around with it. There has to be something to you that's deeper than, you know what I mean, you know, your motherfucking, your goddamn, you know what I mean, fucking Americanism, your patriotism. You know what? Like, yo, there's 10 million football fans this weekend who all sat there and listened to the national anthem and thought about their fucking country in 9/11, right? But the truth is like, oh man, listen, that's one fucking day that happened, you know what I mean, 20 some fucking years ago and shit.
Like, I wasn't even 3 years old yet when it happened.
I was 18 when that shit happened.
I was 11 when that happened. I remember vividly exactly what all went down. It was fucking gym class. We all sat down and were ready for a gym class. And all of a sudden the teacher gets called out and just tells everybody, sit down, don't move, and do anything. And so we're just kind of sitting around in gym for an hour just in place. And we're like wondering what the fuck's going on.
Well, here's the thing. Like, none of us were worried about what happened in New York.
No, none of us were wondering what all was going to New York. I remember specifically because I went home that day after watching nothing but 2 hours of repeated newsreels, and my cartoons weren't on. And I'm like, this is boring. Can we stop talking about this? I want to watch my cartoons.
Right. I mean, but I was 18, and I wasn't worried about New Yorkers. Right. I was worried about my community. That's what I cared about. I cared about my community. And all of us were worried about our community because all of us got together as neighbors and all of us were heavily armed and we sat around, you know what I mean, and was wondering whether or not Al-Qaeda was going to try and walk down the motherfucking street and shit. Right. Because we're fucking retarded. But on the same point, you know what I mean? That's what we did. We were a community on that day. You know what I mean? We were worried about being Americans. We were worried about, you know what I'm saying, being us and making sure our families were okay. That was the mental. And that's what we're supposed to get back to.
Yeah, I think I was too young for that. I didn't quite understand what all was going on. I'm like, where's the burning towers that are falling in my neighborhood? I don't see anything like that. Can we get back to normal, please? I've been watching the same 15 seconds for 2 hours. I'm bored of it. Can we have something different, please, and thank you?
I'll be real.
Here's turned off the TV and went on my own business.
Here's the crazy thing. We had Pakistanis in our neighborhood. Nobody went and beat them up or fucking fucked with them. They were part of our community. They were our friends. We loved them. You know what I mean? Legitimately, I want to say probably about 6 months later, I ran into one of them in a fucking store, little Sammy, and he fucking asked me, you know what I mean, for help for picking out a card because he wasn't so good at English. He wanted to pick out a card for his sister's wedding or some bullshit. You know what I mean? I picked him out a nice card and I saw him about fucking 6 months after that. And he goes, yo, remember that card? Right? And I go, yeah. He goes, oh, people thank me so much for that. Here. And this motherfucker handed me $20 for helping him out.
Jesus. Wow.
Right? Yo, he remembered that.
That's fucking
right.
Yeah,
he was a good dude. You know what I mean? And this is the mentality. He was a good guy. Right. And and we all knew they were good guys. And they all sold us cigarettes when we were 14 and 15 and shit.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So we never had any of that. We never saw any of this bullshit of these motherfuckers getting a hard time about some bullshit or anything like that. There was never any of this racism garbage. They were part of our community. They were part of our family.
Oh,
That's what was important.
It's don't even get me started on the whole racism thing. Because I remember growing up, even clear to when I was 18, 19 in the military and everything, racism wasn't this big issue until I was 24. And people were starting some shit with this when this whole SJW thing really kicked off. For me, this entire progressivism ideology really started around 2014 when Gamergate more or less brought it to life.
And that's also
when it
when
entered
Black
mainstream
Lives Matter
console.
started off too, really.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. For me, Black Lives Matter wasn't until fucking the 2020 election. It wasn't even 2016 for me.
Because I remember BLM started forming after all that crap went down with Michael Brown.
Well, here's what happened. In the 80s and 90s, there were a bunch of white bitches who had light-skinned babies, right? And then they went to college, right? And when those kids went to college, they came out of college not feeling black enough. And you know what I'm saying? Went into goddamn government and went into like fucking community organizing. And that's when Black Lives Matter happened.
It's fucking retarded because when I was I even talked to my own mother about this, and she's like, "Well, you wouldn't understand the race riots of the '80s." And I'm sitting there like, I wouldn't.
Yo, it's about feels. It's about feels, son. That's the problem, right?
I know. It's
all these kids were raised by single moms, right, on fucking welfare, and they were light-skinned, and so therefore they always felt like they had it harder than everybody the fuck else because they weren't white, they weren't black, and they were aggravated. That's why you see all of these motherfuckers marching aren't dark black people. All right, they're light-skinned motherfuckers and white bitches. That's what this is about.
I remember one day in high school. It
baffles me.
What up?
I was with some of my friends and acquaintances, and one of them, she was mixed, and she was talking about going to a black college, and I made a joke about, like, I guess half of you could go there.
No. Right? Yo, honest to God, that is the real thing. That's really what it is. Like, yo, it's light-skinned motherfuckers not feeling black enough who were raised in white fucking neighborhoods by white parents and white grandparents. For instance, look at Colin Kaepernick. I thought Colin Kaepernick was Egyptian when I first saw this motherfucker. I did not think he was a fucking half black person. And then when he started speaking, I immediately knew he was not a black person, right? Because that motherfucker was raised by adopted white parents in fucking Wisconsin. This is the problem.
One of my best friends when I was in the Boy Scouts, he had mixed race parents. His mother was white, his father was black. We adopted him as our own as the Scouts. He wasn't this mixed weirdo to us. He was one of us and had fun tying knots and setting things on fire and running around in the woods like maniacs, swimming through the lake and everything. It's like I'm just sitting there thinking about him now, and I'm like, he didn't seem like he was troubled. He was one of us.
Again, you know what I'm saying? It's once they get older and go to college and hear a whole bunch of fucking critical race nonsense. Right? And like, yo, they'll stand here and drag it up and go, oh man, my life is so hard. You know, because you know how like rich people do. Like, yo, motherfuckers who had it easy their whole lives have a hard time later in life because they had nothing to test them. Look at you versus looking at me. I've never thought about killing myself. I mean, other than today when I was talking that thought, I wanted to stab myself in the face. Right?
Fair enough.
You know,
yeah.
Out of annoyance.
Right. Out of annoyance. Like, you know, like sometimes you want to jam a screwdriver in your eardrum just so you don't have to hear nonsense. But like, legitimately, motherfuckers who have never had anything hard happen in goddamn life, you know what I mean, end up being the individuals who, you know, let's be honest here, you know what I mean, end up being like the weakest motherfuckers on the planet. That's how it works. Like, when you have to struggle you have to work for your fucking future and work for your life, and you know, you appreciate it, right? And when, you know what I'm saying, you're raised in a nice, clean, safe fucking place, you know, you're gonna grow up and fucking like have your worst problems be your own mental. That's what all this shit's about.
Yeah. I realize that's what I'm struggling with. You know, I say that I am kind of suicidal, but at this point, I've understand that it's basically, it comes and goes in waves. Like, there are times where I'm just my own worst enemy in my head. It's just, I'll be having a decent day, random thought pops in there, and then I'm fucking depressed. And then depending on how long I stay depressed, I might start feeling suicidal. You give me a week, 2 weeks, and then I start feeling better again. And, you know, that's why I say, even though when I say I'm suicidal, you know, I'll straight up say no balls, won't do it, because, you know, I really won't. But it's that own fight in my own skull. I'm aware enough to understand that it's all in my fucking head. And sometimes you just got to ride it out until I start getting better. And I'm trying to deal with the things that are causing me these things so that hopefully, you know, I stop having these waves of depression and I can get on with my fucking life.
Well, you have to remember something, right? It's highly important. This is probably really, really important to like you and anybody else. You know, like, legitimately, the issue is that you never fucking stood here and you never struggled for your life, right? You never really you don't appreciate it because you weren't in danger of losing it on a regular basis, right? So like you don't really appreciate it. Like yo, you stop thinking that. Like yo, for instance, there's a reason why like mental health challenge isn't something that, you know, I mean, crosses the mind of like a fucking random Ethiopian, right? Because like, because that nigga's worried about eating. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking 13-year-old with an AK-47 guarding a bridge with a death stare. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that kid ain't worried about his mental health. Nobody's worried about eating, not being killed by another 13-year-old. Right? This is the problem. Right? And when you stand here and you like, you fucking realize this shit, you have to go like, man, listen, like maybe like fucking I need to have some challenge in my life. I need to have something in me, you know what I mean, that makes me want to become or makes me appreciate what the fuck it is I have. That's the mentality. That's the shit that I think like you're missing as a whole, right? For me, like it was every day, right? Every day, you know what I'm saying? Like you're worried about getting robbed and shanked and fucking, you know what I mean, beat up on a regular basis. And not because like you're getting picked on. It's because of the fact that everybody around you was hungry. You know what I mean? It's because every day could have been your motherfucking last because somebody else needed something that you had. Right? So therefore,
Yeah,
like,
I did not have that
life.
growing up.
You appreciate your life way more when you struggled for it. So why I like that idea of like bears in suburban neighborhoods, right? You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking meme, but it's fucking true. Like, yo, we need more struggle in our lives. We need to appreciate our lives, and we don't.
Maybe that was one of the reasons I joined the military.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm about to shut this bitch down. It's been like 3 hours. I'm getting tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I gotta go to bed soon too.
Yo, John Wayne says go to jail. That'll help you appreciate life. I'm with you. That's a really good. Legit, not a bad idea. Anyway, yo, look, man, it's been Tom Pizza Pino News. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that motherfucking goddamn notification bell. You know what I mean? Anybody makes it the whole way through this, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? You officially have nothing to do with your life and need to get a fucking hobby. Yo, thank you, everybody, for on. Thank you, motherfucking everybody coming out. It's appreciated. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Good night.